you guys if you do so. So para lang naman ma-increase natin yung awareness about our beloved passion, which is sim racing.
This is actually, the very first time that we did something like this, Coach Abby, na we invited other people to actually try out the sim racing, and we're giving out prizes. Thank you to our sponsors, by the way, for not just for making this event possible, but also for giving away great prizes kanina. But just to give you guys an idea about our race calendar, again, this is round number 1 of endurance. Today is May 30. Round 2 will happen on September 5, and round number 3 will happen on November 28. But we're also done with round 1 of circuit and round 1 of rally. So the next tournaments, as you can see on the screen here, circuit will be on August and October, and then it's the same thing with circuit and rally. So you just make sure that you block these dates on your calendars.
Yes, indeed. So for the rally, we have the August 29th, and on the last one is the October 10th. So for the drivers, guys, make sure to book your schedule and make sure to join us here at the National Esports Championship.
Oo, kasi marami nanghihinayang na parang they wanted to race. Ayan, shoutout sa mga track stars natin. Kaya lang hindi free today, or may mga dumaan. And kanina may mga influencer na nag-signify na parang sasali na, ready na for the next round. So yes, that's our schedule. Block it out sa calendars here so we can have you join us both on the online and on-site races for endurance.
Yes, sir. And for those of you who's not even aware of how endurance is going to play out, so I guess we've had some sort of changes, for the mechanics. Dati, when we actually participated, each driver must not drive rather beyond an hour, right? But for this race, I think no driver should drive or get behind the wheel for or beyond 45
minutes.
minutes. So we have to swap the drivers here. And I think for today's endurance, it's a total of four drivers in a team.
Kaya nga 45 minutes And also, we are headed over to the historic track, which is Silverstone National. No, this is the home of British motorsport. It's also a site not just for street rally or street car racing, but also for F1 as well. So maraming historic events na nangyari sa Silverstone, and that's exactly where we are headed at Tower Chester, Northamptonshire in the United Kingdom. So yan, British na British tayo this afternoon.
How you doing, mate? Yes. Is that how you say it? No. So, again, we have a total of 18 turns here. It's going to be clockwise in terms of direction, and 11.3 meters for our elevation here. So track. It's going to be the same car that's going to be used for this track. It is still going to be the Lotus Elise. So again, this car is pretty much known for its agility, I guess, and being nimble, being lightweight. So this car is perfect to go to to get through those corners, those tight corners. But then again, I think this car is gonna be hard for those drivers who are a little bit inexperienced in terms of handling, in terms of control, and I don't know, when it comes to drifting. What do you think about that, Coach?
Yeah, definitely. We have experienced yung driving a Mazda Miata, for example, driving maybe a Vios, di ba? Which we're all too familiar with, di ba? Pero with a Lotus, yung proportions kasi ng kanyang power output in terms of the layout, kasi sa mid-engine rear drive na car, no? Yung makina niya wala sa harap. So, yan ang medyo tricky in terms of finding traction when you're accelerating, when you're approaching your turns. Ito actually, meron siyang likeness to driving a go-kart. That's why I'm very interested to see, especially our younger racers right now who graduated or who are also still active in the karting discipline, how it will translate to driving a Lotus.
I actually spoke with some of the drivers that we have for today, and they did mention that, it's pretty close to karting. And again, this is a discipline that demands precision. So For those that we consider seasoned drivers, I think that's an advantageous skill kasi pretty much they have all they have gone through a lot of experiences handling tight corners, yung mga chicanes natin dito. I think this is probably gonna separate those that are not quite there yet versus those that are really good at it already, especially with this car.
Yeah.
Just like what you said, Coach, it's not the same as driving the Miata or the Vios. This car is not for a beginner.
Yeah. Medyo medyo sensitive. Tsaka para siyang yung ex mo, hindi madali magpatawad. So if you do have a very tricky and very, sabihin natin, imperfect turn, makakaramdam talaga yung drivers natin ng difference. And I think this is a good reason or this is a good way to actually showcase yung mixed teams natin ngayon. Remember last year we had a mixed grid pero magkakasama yung pros, magkakasama yung amateurs, magkakasama yung mga pro-ams. This time, because all the teams are comprised of different levels of mastery, lalabas ngayon kung ano yung strategy nila. Kung sino yung unang isasalang, gusto ba nilang katapat ng pro nila is the female racer or the pro-am or the amateur. So, yeah, it's a strategy, not just in the driver lang sa approach niya, but also whose turn is it to drive the car.
Indeed. That's the point of this race kasi, no? Na yung deployment of each driver, knowing the advantages of deploying the pro at the first early stages of the game compared to deploying the females first. So, pick your poison lang eh. If you deploy the females first, the later part of this race will surely benefit your team because you will deploy the pros later on. Pero if you deploy the pros in this early stages of the game, you need to establish at least a big lead in order for you to maintain the pace.
Yeah, and again, when we're talking about a mixed grid, we're also seeing a lot of experienced racers din.
Yeah,
whether babae or lalaki. So for me, I'll take May Gumila over an amateur racer at this point, di ba? So again, these are the decision-making things. And we've seen this in the previous rounds na parang merong nag-overextend, na-penalize, merong nag-start from the pit, merong nag-pit agad, and those matter in the long run.
Undercut.
So yeah,
Yep.
exciting
And
things.
not only that, Coach, kasi we have like all of the drivers here from amateur, from pro-am, and also mga pros. So, just like what you mentioned kanina, Boss Xiao, diba? Depends really talaga dun sa deployment of drivers. We don't know what the strategy is gonna be, but there's also a big consideration when it comes to fuel management and tire management.
Yes, tire management is a big factor for this race because if you get your tires degraded at the early stage of the game, there's a possibility to skid and the next driver might not be able to handle on how you handle your car. The next driver might not be able to maintain or at least maintain the pace that you have established. But let's see if there will be some skids, there might be some collisions. Let's see on what will happen here at Silverstone.
Okay. I think before we head on to the races, let's talk about the teams that are actually participating for today. So let's start with...
Siguro sa rig number 1 2 pataas tayo, no, para makita natin sila sa mga nandito on site, no.
Yeah,
So
sige.
sim rig number 1, we have SSROG, no, Swift Sim Racing OG, comprised of Nino Gonzalez, Vernon Ablier, Patrick Lopez, and Christine Mariel Bongkawil. Alam natin, if you have been with us in the first season natin last year, familiar si Kiko Gonzalez sa inyo, the legend of Kiko Gonzalez, then you probably know that. Okay? We are headed to sim rig number 3. Sim rig number 3 tayo. Ito, sige, go Red Queen. Kaya mo yan.
Yeah, for sim rig number 3, these are the guys from the Society of Wonderful Speed Dynamic Tycoon Wizards and Bake Shop with Laundromat.
Wow.
Turon Shop. Wow, that's
Turon shop na lang daw.
Turon Shop na
Nakabasa
lang.
sa akin.
Okay, that's
Turon
a
shop
long one. Okay, so but I'm gonna go with Turon Shop. Okay, these guys are Paul Ryan Lopez. We got Robin Tan. We've got Alan Arango or Terrence Magaling. Terence Magaling.
Wow.
Is this a surname? Okay, Terence Magaling. Okay, that's Alan Arango and Terence Magaling. We also have our ladies, Kia Nicole and Addie De La Cruz. So Turon Shop, or Speedy Bakers as they call themselves, formerly known as the Society of Magical Wizards and Bake Shop. So this group, it was formed within the heart of a dying star. Oh, the overwhelming pressure of speed, fire, and darkness and excessive baking habits. But yeah, kidding aside, they're also new faces in the AAP League and are also friends with the Scuderia GR Esports team, which we will be introducing later on. They share the same passion together in sim racing, and their goal is to also enjoy the competition.
Yes, indeed. And moving on to the number 4 sim racing rig, which will be Upfront Racing. This comprises of Johan Villena, Gerald Garcia, Yoram Lazaro, and Aleni Valera. So Upfront is a team of prominent karters and sim racers with years of experience, both sim racing and karting. They told themselves that it is more than that. The karters and sim racers look forward to gaining experience in every motorsport opportunity to become successful motorsport drivers.
Yan. And actually, we will let you know more about our teams later on because on your screens, if you're watching here, you can see that the endurance round is just concluded. No? Yung ating qualis natin.
Yeah, we're done with the
talk about
qualifiers.
Yes, it's when the teams try to clock their best time, and according to that best time, they will land their position in the grid. So I would assume it's the pros that they're trying to field in for the qualifiers for most of our teams, but they will get to that later, no? But for right now, we can do a rundown lang ng ating grid as it plays out. We have SSR OG on top, like NXT Racing, Viridis Arcus, the next SSR team, SSR Carters. We have the Upfront Racing team, Veloce Regazo, Sig2 Premier, MSAE Racing team, and Scuderia GR Esports team, followed by the Turon Gang, or the Speedy Bakers.
The Turon Gang.
Ayan. So,
Oh, by the way, big shout out again to new faces, I guess, for the endurance race. We've got the guys from Viridis Arcus. We're going to introduce them later on, but I believe this is an organization from De La Salle University. So welcome, guys.
sana magkaroon na ng sim racing sa UAAP very, very soon.
You never
Pinamanifest natin yan. But also, let's take this moment to give a huge shout out to every sponsor that we have. No? Maraming salamat sa mga tutulong sa ating maghatid ng lahat ng action, lahat ng drama, comedy, at hindi naman siguro trahedya. Pero like, mga growth din ng drivers natin. Those who have been with us, again, thank you AAP for presenting or this wonderful opportunity for drivers to gather together. Dominado E-Motorsports Rally, again, the pioneer in terms of fielding in marshals, whatever you need to conduct your sim racing league or tournament. DMR, please let us know how we can assist you. Shout out as well to FPS Studios Nurtured for the production. And of course, we will not forget our sponsors. We have TT Racing, we have Rode microphones for our broadcast equipment and microphones. We have Vessel monitors who have been with us in our previous rounds as well. We have Do More Racing Academy who was able to share their knowledge to the seminar. We also have Sarah Monic, again, helping us with the comms for our whole team as well. And ito bago to, guys. Kung mas malinaw yung dating namin sa inyo, it's because of Canon, di ba? Again, this is we're welcoming them to the wonderful world of sim racing. So maraming salamat po sa pagtulong na magampanan natin itong role natin to amplify sim racing in the country.
And I guess we're still going through the qualifying time, for our teams here. So let's just introduce a couple more teams on the grid. We've got NXT Racing. So these are Corwin Mercado, Charles De Vega, Jop Matubis, and May Gomila. So this team was actually formed back in 2024. Again, these are all friends. They met at the Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup 2024. So there's also Nigel Magante, Corin Mercado, Vito Manas, Russo, and Gabriel Formoso.
Veloce Ragazzo, which is Sim2 Premier. It comprises of Diomela Pingula, John Paul Mancilia, James Palmares, and Marika Victa. So here is their profile. This is a comeback team from the previous season, Veloce Regazo, and has been and other leagues since 2021 during the pandemic era. So I think they have the experience for this race.
Pandemic babies pala to,
Okay.
mga to,
Nabuso
you know,
pandemic.
the golden age of streaming as they call it.
And esports.
And esports, yes.
Yes. Actually, we will give a little bit more time for our drivers to swap in kasi yung order nga nila kung sino yung first driver. So while they're doing that,
Factor for
punta
this.
naman tayo sa next nating team. We are going to to Scuderia GR Esports. Ayan, Frederick Agustin, Gab Nangsin, Carl Peduca, Ruangela Nulan, who has been with us for Women's Grid. And actually, nanalo to last year for amateurs, right? They were known previously as the Sports Predict Esports team and the 2025 AAP National Esports Amateur Endurance Champions. Yun na nga. And now they're rebranded as Scuderia GR Esports, a group of Monza arcade goers who want to enjoy racing to the fullest. Ayan. Welcome to the grid. Nag-rename sila.
Nag-rename. Siyempre dapat.
Predict nyo ba? Kasi sports predict sila dati. Okay.
Okay, you know what? Kanina, we gave a huge shout out to Virtus Arcus kanina. You know, the boys coming from De La Salle University. But you know what? We have another school joining us for today. And this is the MSTAY.
MSAE na lang.
MSAE na lang. Okay, MSAE Racing. These are the guys, Joseph Mapolon, Eldridge Rance Valle, Adrian James Sanchez. We've got Mishka Mendoza, Zelia Ragidin. So again, this is a new esports team coming from the Mapua College of Manila. So they have been working behind the scenes, you know, for their roster. So I'm guessing they've really practiced hard, you know, to compete for today's insurance. But after their introduction to sim racing,
That's very interesting for MSAE. Wait and introduce the last team, which is the Viridis Arcos Esports team. So they comprise of Alberto Descalzo, John David Marquez, Kilua Daloma or Ethan Duce, and Mariel Tulfo. And their profile here is the first ever college esports team who entered the AAP esports season. Alberto Descalzo, a driver of SSR and student of
Grid, again, we are seeing a lot of movement. For now, we have SSR OG still on top of the pack, maintaining that lead over the rest of the players right now. NXT Racing following them closely behind. And then we have Viridis Arcos and SSR Carters rounding off the top four. Again, they're pretty close together, lumped up together pa yun yung ating drivers. And it's gonna be a long race. So there's definitely a lot of time for them to catch up, for them to make their mark on the race.
3 hours in total, ladies and gents. But right now, when it comes to the ranking here, Speedy Baker is currently at P9, so they are the last. When it comes to leaderboards here, we've got SSROG right now at P1, followed by NXT Racing and Virtus Arcos P3. But you know what? Virtus Arcos was able to pull away from SSR. Now, the big question is if they can maintain, this kind of pace and maintain their P3 position. We are just at the beginning of the endurance race here, ladies and gents, but we do expect less to zero incidents. Why? Because we are with professional drivers here, and I do understand that this is not an easy car to handle, but then again, these guys have been competing already in a lot of races.
Yes, indeed. Those experiences will be their bread and butter for this race. And looking at it, there were some changes on the bottom parts of this standings right here for MSA and even number 6 or P6 of Veloce Regazo. But still, looking at the top spot, SSR OG still maintains the lead, and followed by NXT Racing and the SSR Carters. Looks like SSRs have prepared well, maintaining the top 2 spots in the podium.
Definitely, and again, super close fight. Again, from P3 to P5, no? Everyone is within earshot of each other. Naririnig mo yung ugong ng engine ng Lotus sa harap mo, no? While you're also shouting and screaming at the person behind you. Again, nasa rear yung ating engines, kaya nagkakarinigan yung mga yan, definitely, no? But again, this is just the first
That's
few
kinda
minutes
close.
of the race, and we are seeing an attempt to overtake. We are approaching the turns, no? Pagdating natin kasi sa turn 4, definitely Brooklands is a way, a very good opportunity for racers to really dive bomb, to really reclaim the spots if they lost it. So, ayan, very close yung ating grid with barely a second differential between P1 and P2, P3 and P4 as well.
Oh, check it out, guys. SSR Carters was able to take P3 from Virtus Arcus. So let's see if they can actually take that back. We also have to give a huge shout out, for the liveries na meron tayo ngayon sa mga kotse. Ang ganda ng pagkakaayos nila dito.
Talagang kapanapanabik yung mga nakikita natin na corners coming from the teams and even the drivers maintaining at least a deficit of half second for SSROG. Talagang they are going for the defensive at this point in order for NXT Racing to be on the P2.
Oh yes, Virtus Arcus definitely making a run for P3, approaching very closely on the straightaway, trying to get an advantage over the SR Carters, but the SR Carters are still protecting that lead, very successful in securing a P3 for themselves. SSR seems to be dominating our race with for their teams being part of the podium for now, no? But again, a long race, and we'll find out depending on the driver challenges, the driver swaps, if the strategies are playing out. Here you have a view of what's actually happening on site. You are here again live from Korsa Pitstop Cafe at Ayala Malls, Manila Bay, and we would like to give a huge shout out to everyone who's a part of this community. If you're at home, hindi kayo nakahabol, don't worry. Don't be like the other racers natin, makakahabol din kayo maybe on round 2 and round 3. Kung baga sa race first lap pa lang naman, makakahabol pa tayo. And if you have teams who want to join in, definitely field them in for the next few rounds.
If there's anything I learned when it comes to endurance racing, again, it's not always about being fast. Sometimes dapat clean lap ka lang talaga eh. Hindi ka mag-spin out, wag ka magkakaroon ng mistakes. You follow the line and you'll be okay. That's exactly how we won the last endurance. We're not the fastest.
Last year,
We're
yeah,
not
right?
the most experienced. But the thing is, we did a lot of clean laps.
Yes.
I feel like we were the cleanest. I think most of the time wala talaga kaming incidents na nakukuha from the team. So again, it all boils down on skills. And siguro strategy na rin talaga for the driver deployment, the tire management, and also the fuel management. Later on, makita nyo yung mga activities natin kasi someone will be planking, someone will be drinking a hot chocolate, someone will be eating a cheesecake. So, paunahan yan. Diba? Hopefully magawa nila lahat. Hopefully walang magiging mga penalties kasi later on hindi pa naman siya talaga official standing eh. Yung makita natin sa leaderboard, the marshals and the stewards will definitely go through it one by one, review everything. There's some teams will definitely receive some penalties here, but so far so good. Everyone's doing a clean lap here.
Yeah, and nobody's getting a penalty at the moment right now. So for me, I think the main reason for the team of SSROG maintain the lead is their discipline in terms of the track. But for me, later on, what I'm curious about is how they will manage to pit and also do the challenges quickly. Because if they don't finish the challenges quickly, their time will surely be overtaken by other teams.
Exactly. It's not as simple as it looks here. Medyo kinakabahan talaga ako kasi we keep on mentioning the fact that, this car is not as easy as the Miata, the cars that we've had in the previous rounds here. This is a Lotus Elise. And based from what I've read, again, I think it's very good when it comes to tight corners. It has that agility that you need, and also it's very lightweight. I guess it's if you really know how to handle the car, especially on how to approach the corners here, you won't have any problem. The only thing that I consider a little bit of a weakness when it comes to Lotus Elise is the top speed. So hindi siya panlaban, no? pagka straight na yung track natin dito, medyo, if I were to compare it with GT cars, I'm pretty sure it's a little bit slower. But when it comes to the turns, they are perfect cars. But it's not just about the cars, it's also about the drivers, right? The skills and everything else in between. It has to have that combo.
Yes, indeed. And looking at Lotus Elise, it doesn't reward someone who benefits on the straight paths.
Yes.
The Elise rewards the corners that is done by the drivers. And looking at it, so far the drivers are making good corners at this point.
Diba?
NXT Racing making it the fastest lap here with a 2 minutes 30 and 8 thousandths of a second back here for their team. So I think SSR OG getting threatened by that fastest lap committed by NXT Racing.
Yes, play catch up and approaching this turn. We are seeing a dive coming in from NXT Racing, trying to give SSROG a challenge right there. Another turn is coming up, and will this be it? Inner lane taken again by SSROG. Great defensive driving for them. Really just maintaining that lead. Kahit na 0.22, it's just a sliver of a second. But here on a little bit of room for the straightaway. NXT Racing trying to slip trim, trying to get the tangent line from that turn. No, unsuccessful, no, but a little bit of an
from the inside. Yeah.
Dived and still na-maintain natin yung 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 na pulling away ang ating SSR OG Racer.
Cool as a cucumber. Itong driver natin coming from SSR OG. Medyo good defense yung pinapakita ng SSR. Again, these are people who are very active in the racing scene. But you know what? NXT Racing is definitely up for the challenge here. He's being very, very patient. But I can see he is really closing in onto the gap here. Already side by side. It's just about, like the turning point. Exactly. But SSR still was able to maintain that P1.
Yes, they're
Veloce Legazo naman yung nakapag-overtake on our P7, P6 if I'm not mistaken. That was a great attack. But right now we have one team actually in the pit. Can I see which team this is? We might be getting a little bit of information later on kung anong nangyayari. No? We are seeing, is it a driver challenge already? Is
Yes,
that
I think
already a driver
so.
challenge? Okay, I think I'm seeing Mr. Robin drink yung kanya na meron tayo nakikita nagpa-pumping. So I think it's definitely the Turon shopkeeper na naggagawa ng ating challenge. We are seeing them make that move. Interesting. Yung P1 natin tsaka P10 ang nagpit. Nagpit kasi kaya nagpit sila. Nagpit.
Okay. Kalmahan lang natin.
They decided to pit, giving up the position temporarily to NXT Racing for now. But let's see how it plays out. Tama ba yung strategy ng SROG? Pit a little bit earlier.
Chug, 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 chug. Nakita ko si Robin ton, dire-diretso yung pag-inom eh. So, I guess we already have one team here, just like what you mentioned, Coach, the Turon Shop. The Turon Shop, yeah. They're doing now the challenge. I think they're almost done. And there's another team approaching the marshals right now, prepping to go for their first challenge, for their first driver swap here. And but the Turon Shop already on to their second driver.
Yes, indeed. The transition for the drivers might make or break their performance here at the track. I hope he performs well because I think they need to catch up to the other drivers in this track because currently they are in a tight spot on the bottom part.
Ayan, a little bit of information everyone if you're seeing this perspective natin from our driver challenges, we are actually imitating what actually goes on in endurance races. In endurance races in real life, there are pit stops, and in the pit stops, the crew jumps in, pinapalitan yung gulong, ina-adjust yung battery, things that are done to the car to make it to make sure that it finishes up to the end of the race. But since we can't do that exactly on the sim rig, then ang nagiging pamalit doon is the driver challenges that we have right now where the drivers have a fun experience making the best time, not just on track, but on the challenges that we have prepared for them.
You mentioned, Coach, that our endurance races is as close as the ones that we are having in real life. And that's true. You know why? You cannot approach the drivers. Their teammates cannot approach the drivers. We have a line there that you cannot cross. Okay, so if you cross that, definitely you will be having a penalty.
Yep.
So we have to, the teams need to follow the strict rules here. Otherwise, they will, of course, suffer consequences. You don't want to add time, right?
Yes.
You don't want to add time.
And I think the P7 and P8 already about to finish their challenge here with the burpees. But looking at it, their drivers has been deployed already for the P7 and the P8 for this current track. So at least we know they have the strategy moving forward into this race. But now NXT Racing looks like they are now the leading pack at this point, as Verde Arcos following on to P2, while Veloce Regazzo getting that third spot into our leaderboards.
And kanina nakita nyo yung SSR OG leading the pack, right? But since they went for a driver's swap or a pit, currently they are at P6. But kanina nakita ko na sa P8 sila, P7 if I'm not mistaken. So they are slowly moving up. A while ago, again, they went for a pit stop, but now I think they are ready to get back that time, to get back that spot. Let's see how long they can reach the top. So far, we are being led by NXT Racing. They haven't stopped just yet. They haven't gone to the pits just yet. They're trying to maintain the lead. But of course, it all depends kung ano yung magiging strategy ng other teams natin dito. So far, Verdes Arcos moved up to P2. And then Regazzo, Sim2 Premier, Veloce Regazzo, currently at P3.
Yan. And again, you drink, you burp, and then you make burpees. Yan yung challenges natin apparently for our first driver swap. Talking about driver swaps, no? Again, yung most of the pits are happening in less than 30 minutes into the race that we have. This means that they are reserving another swap at the end of the race. Again, fielding in the best drivers for that crucial and conclusion ng ating race. But right now, medyo nagkakaroon na ng gaps. Ayan. Parang kayo lang ng jowa mo pag nanlalamig na, no? Medyo may gaps na tayo pagdating sa ating grid right now. Hindi na tayo split second differential between the teams. But this is also because the amount of time that they spend on the pits will be different depending on the team. So again, we are not just witnessing prime racing but also prime challenge winning dito sa ating mga teams na nasa side.
And also, I love the fact na kapag naka-on-site talaga tayo dito, guys, and we allow the audience and their teammates to cheer for their drivers. You can see Korsa right now sa mini-screen natin. It's really jam-packed at the moment, you know, just really showing love and support for our drivers here. And we need that, you know. Sometimes it can, pressure can get to you. And it's nice to know that you have your gang, you have your crew backing you up.
Yes, and indeed, seeing the community grow for sim racing is really what we want here in the Philippines. Because currently, there's just a few people wanting to see sim racing. But here we are here at Korsa. You can see how many people are cheering for their respective teams. And now, looks like there's another change in the standings recently on the P4 and P5, but the top 2 and top 3 spots still has been claimed by Viridis Arcos, and the P3 still is in the hands of Veloce Regazzo.
And wonderful, no? Kasi NXT Racing seems to be racing away. Nag-clock na naman sila ng best time, beating out SSR OG in terms of the fastest lap, no? So definitely making good with their strategy right now, building that lead. If you look closely at the leaderboard, malaki na yung gap or nag-widen yung gap between P1 and P2, between NXT Racing and Release Arcos. Both teams have not pitted, if I'm not mistaken, but still NXT clocking in the best time out of all the others. And that is what they're banking on, di ba? Field in your best driver, build up a lead na mahihirapang habulin ng rest of the pack.
Yeah.
And then maybe, just maybe, by cutting you too close to that 45-minute
Yes.
mark, then you are being presented a really great strategy.
I feel like that's the exact strategy that they're gonna do for today's endurance. I think they're gonna maximize talaga yung 45 minutes natin dito to build that lead that they need, you know, to dominate other teams here. but it's too early to say anything just yet. A lot of things can still happen. SSROG definitely trying to make up time here. Nasa P6 pa din sila, but it'll be easy for them kasi ibang teams hindi pa nagpipit.
Yes.
So there's definitely a reshuffle still gonna happen in the leaderboards.
We don't know what the strategy deployed by SSROG, but I hope they don't regret this decision on pitting their first driver early on in this game. And looking at it, they have fallen from top 1 into the top 6 in terms of the standings right here. But I think they might be crawling their way up slowly but surely with their recent drivers currently. NXT Racing still leading the pack, but upfront racing, they were placing on the lower spots earlier, but now they have claimed the P4 right here and right now. And for me, SSR Carters, they were not there on the last spot earlier, but looks like they have fallen off.
Yes, again, we are seeing yung huge gap, no? SSROG who finished with the best time, who kept the P1. Right now, they're at P6. But again, this is a pitting strategy that they're using. Kung malayo po yung difference between our P4 and our P5, this is because of how it played out na yung top 4 teams right now haven't really pitted. So, yan. Consider nyo lang yun, ha? Pero kung sila yung niroute nyo, pwede yun na screenshot to. Pero para once upon a time, P1 ka talaga.
Pero you know what? To be fair, NXT Racing is definitely doing a good time here. They've finished laps, I think twice sila naging best time, right? So, very obvious, they're really gonna go and maximize that 45-minute window, for their drivers. And I think it's the same strategy for Viridis Arcus. They haven't pitted pa, no? But let's see. So far so good. It's a steady drive for all of the teams here. I don't see any reshuffle, or I don't even see any car that's so close to each other.
Yes. And for me, I think Viridis Arcus, the strategy that they want to employ in this current race is to utilize their drivers at most in the first half of the stint. Looking at it, they haven't pitted for almost 20 or 10 minutes, I guess, or 20 minutes, because it's almost 5 or 2 hours and 30 in the current timer. So for me, Viridis Arcus is really putting a thought on what to do on the next stints, especially for the next driver that will be driving off in this track.
Ayan, definitely, no? Ang saya-saya manood dito on site, guys. If you're here, we have friends, we have family supporting the drivers. And of course, everyone is really synced. Everyone is really focused. If you are familiar with how we run this tournament, no, we want it to be as close to real life as possible. And actually, when you look at the drivers, wala ditong coaching, walang sumisigaw from behind. They're not allowed to communicate with their teams. So that's where important yung comms. And I'm seeing actually our other teams deploy yung kanilang mga Saramonic headsets as well. So shout out sa Saramonic, meron na po kayo agad conversion dito. There's a team that's actually using a Saramonic VTalk 9 if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, different strategies, different ways to communicate. Some of them, I believe, have already set out a game plan for their teams. So that's why we're seeing that in terms of the pit stops, there's still quite a few teams who have not pitted. But then again, that only means that the first driver will not be joining or rejoining after their initial run. So, naniniwala sila na parang wine, it gets better as you go. Na ubusin na natin yung 45 minutes ng drivers natin so that we'll get that locked-in mastery of the track before we shift to the next one.
Yes, sir. And, it's still the same standings here. NXT Racing still at P1. We got Viridis Arcus P2, Velator Regazos, Simtra Premier still at P3. And as for the rest of the teams, they are still pretty much in the same position. But since this is an endurance, we still have to wait again when they are going to use yung driver swap nila dito. But so far, it's a clean drive for everyone.
Looking at this one, Viridis Arcus and the Velocia Regazzo almost close to each other with just less than a second of deficit at this point. And I think Velocio Ragazzo already within the striking distance against Viridi Arcos. I think he wants to overtake at this point, but doesn't have the opportunity and the straights available for him in order to initiate a DRS at this point of time.
You know what, honestly, gusto ko makita kung sino yung mga nagda-drive eh. Kasi it could give us a little bit of information. We don't even know if other teams opted to go for the female. There's one amateur drivers. We don't even know which team started like with a pro driver or a pro am. So there's lots of dynamics happening inside the track here. But then again, you know, wala pa akong nakikitang nagbabago so far sa leaderboard na. Although I can see two cars here head to head. Probably getting ready to take that spot, but let's see what's gonna happen next.
Yes. And looking at the upfront racing, they are also less than 4 seconds. Yeah, 4 seconds against the Velocio Ragazzo. So I think they might go for a chase back here. Let's see if they would be able to at least lessen the gap that is established here by Velocio Ragazzo. But knowing there might be some changes back here, maybe.
Okay, for P3 with that successive curves, no, successive turns, meron silang chance to attack right now. But unfortunately, it did not play out to their favor. That lead has increased yung gap. No, again, this is an unforgiving type of car. If you do attack it, if you do choose to attack, it might bite you in the behind.
Yeah.
Kapag hindi maganda yung exit mo sa yung apex.
Yeah, you don't want to be reckless at this point in the match here. For now, you just really have to be consistent. You need to be able to manage the turns here. And again, this is a difficult car to manage. One wrong move, if you overcook your steer, that's it for you. You're definitely going to spin out. But then again, since we do have experienced drivers inside the track here, we're not seeing anyone yet spin out. But since this is only the beginning of the endurance, we don't know. You know, it's still early to say that this is gonna be a clean race for all of the teams.
Yes, indeed. Less than 30 seconds has yet passed here and the endurance race, but the tires may not be degraded yet, but later on we might see some degradations and some skiddings from the drivers here on our track. But I'm really curious on what will happen with Viridi Arcos because they haven't pitted yet.
Yeah.
Right? Since the start of this race, they haven't pitted and looks like almost 30 minutes has passed on and you don't want to get that penalty. There's the overtake from Viridi Arcos or rather
Binati mo kasi. Ayan
Velocio
na,
Ragazzo.
nakatapos na.
There you have it. There's a wheel-to-wheel. And what a tight spot for the Velocio Ragazzo, almost taking that lead. But once again, Viridi Arcos gaining that P2. What a close match for these two.
Para pinatikim lang sa atin yung
Pinasarap
dogfight
lang?
eh. Oh, pinatikim yung dogfight sabay pit. Sabi niya, ganito yung gagawin namin mamaya. But for now, they are pitting. Oo nga eh, both teams. We have two more teams in the pit. This is Velocio Ragazzo, Sim to Premier, and Viridi Arcos finally choosing to swap out their drivers. Still, we have a few more teams that have not pitted. Again, NXT Racing just trying to max out, to pinipigan nila whatever lead they have over the other members of our grid, choosing not to pit still and increasing their lead from the back. Again, really this Arcos right now trailing by 16.4 seconds sa ating race leader na NXT Racing. P3 and P4 have pitted up front and Velocio Ragazzo are behind. So now, ang tanong, sino ang huling magpipit out of all these teams that have not?
I think NXT na lang yata hindi pa nakakapag-pit, right?
These Arcos still.
Viridis already pitted eh, di ba?
Yeah.
Viridis nag-pit na siya. So I think it's really the NXT Racing na lang talaga ang hindi pa nakaka-stop, no? But let's get to know, members of NXT. So this is Corwin Mercado, Charles De Vega, and Jock Matubis. We also have May Gomila. So these are all experienced driver. May Gomila, again, she's the only female in the top 40 Toyota Gazoo GT Cup. She competed there. Corin Mercado has been, a celebrated name as well in the community. So, di natin alam yung strategy nila, but so far, again, parang matira-matibay muna for now. I mean, when it comes to NXT.
Yes, and looking at it, we are seeing one of the teams already doing their challenges or missions in order for their next driver to take the spot on that rig. So there might be some burpees out here from this team. I'm not sure what team is it. Is it
I
up
think
front?
this is looking on yung ating NXT team.
NXT, yeah. These are the guys from NXT.
So yan, ganda ng jersey ng NXT team natin. Talagang may surname pa talaga sila sa likod. Thank you for helping your casters out, helping us identify you from the crowd. But also, in terms of identifying the crowd, thank you so much to Canon for being able to partner with us and have us access yung kanilang PTZ cameras, the N350 and N400. So, yan, hindi na tayo mag-roving cam for now. Meron na tayong controller ng cam. Shoutout to our DOP. Si Colix ang ating race technical director, but also to Big DC right now operating our PTZ cameras. Okay, so yeah, definitely, it's a good mix of the challenges on site, the good mix of the challenges of every turn, navigating Silverstone with the Lotus Race. If you're just joining us, this is the 2026 AAP National Esports Championship. This is where we decide who are the champions para sa ating endurance races. Again, this is AAP, so it's a national championship. But for this round, we are doing it all here at Korsa Pitstop Cafe at Ayala Malls, Manila Bay. This is gonna be our track for our races and for our race challenges now.
Yes, and this is going to be the Silverstone track in which we are having the Lotus Elise SC as their car. So, sa mga nagtataka dyan, ba't pare-parehas guys? So, at least the drivers will have an equal footing no matter what they drive. At least, di ba? Kasi pro amateurs, they're going to drive all the same. That what boils down here is the driver's skill sets and what they can do using this complex car in this complex track.
Yeah, definitely. And again, talk about Lotus Elise. This is a great chance for all our drivers to be able to drive a $60,000 car on a track that is historic as well as so far away from the Philippines. So ngayon, this is a real wheel-to-wheel battling out with different teams. And again, we have, I think, 9 teams competing today. So it's a full grid for us. Maraming salamat to everyone who has chosen to stake their name and stake their claim dito sa ating 2026 National Esports Championship. But for now, we are seeing great progress from our teams. SROG now being chased by the Speedy Bakers. Sila ngayon ang share ng maganda-gandang gap with SROG following Veloce Regasso by 3 seconds, and Speedy Bakers at P7 following with a 2-second differential.
What's exciting about this, Abby, is the NXT Racing already decided to pit their drivers. This is their first pit, and for sure, their lead will be decreased, and they might be chased by Viridis Arcos at this point, and their lead might be changed to P2 later on if their pit. Looking at this one, already Viridis Arcos claiming the top spot into the standings, but NXT Racing for sure will catch up after this quick pit in this race.
Yes, of course, kasi nauna sila mag-pit. Now they're catching up, but it also means mauuna ulit sila mag-pit later on because again, all the drivers have a 45-minute cap in terms of how long they can drive in one sitting. So, yan, ang nang-witness natin ngayon, the strategy is playing out for all our players. But here we have on screen SROG trying to chase down Speedy Bakers, approaching another turn, and then we have a little bit of a space here, a good exit for our Veloce Regasso and Speedy Bakers. But SROG also following closely behind, trying to take back that space that they had. Again, SROG actually started with the best time.
Yeah.
Kaya nang P1 sila sa grid natin. At one point, they were leading the whole grid. but then they had to give up that lead when they chose to pit earlier than NXT and the rest of the pack.
Yes, indeed. I still remember SSROG on the top spot, but now they have fallen on to the 7th place. They were overtaken by Speedy Bakers. I don't know what is happening on SSROG. I think they're falling off. But look at it once again. We are now seeing another challenge out here in order to be deployed. Looks like he's falling off in his feet on that burpees. So let's see if they would be able to finish this quickly so that they can do their change of drivers, because the more they consume the time, the more the latter their time will add up in this pit.
Kaya kala nyo Fast and the Furious, Fast and the Fitness. Kasi kasama yung fitness capabilities natin, drivers. Again, this is also us trying to show them that racing is a lot more than just like sitting behind the wheel. There's a lot of analytical thinking. There's also a lot of physical requirements if you are to move over to really driving on a track. So for our sim racers, burpees are just the tip of the iceberg. We know how hard real life and racers and professional racers have to work for their endurance, for their posture to remain, and also to fight yung G-forces when they're approaching the turns and speeding away sa kanilang mga superpowered vehicles.
Yes, indeed. No? Sabi nga nila, health is wealth. So, hindi pwedeng puro drive lang. Maintain your fitness and maintain your health. So, at least now we see Viridis Arcos still leading after that pit coming from NXT Racing. Following from them is Upfront Racing with a deficit of 27 seconds. That's quite high, but I think the side of NXT Racing might be catching up real soon because they are now P4 at this point, while Upfront Racing 33 seconds, and now at least they are reducing the lead declared by Viridis Arcos at this point.
Yes, and again, Viridis Arcos, I'm quite concerned with their pitting strategy, but all's well that ends well, so we'll find out later on. Again, we are way past our 45-minute mark. That only means that if a team has not pitted yet, then they would incur damages and penalties for their team, because all the drivers have to be driving less than 45 minutes each, kasi we have a very diverse team of endurance racers here, so we want all the drivers to be able to drive for approximately 45 minutes each.
Wow. What just happened? Okay, Viridis Arcos now?
Yeah.
On P1. Okay, Afron Racing now at P2 and MSAE Racing team at P3. So, again, we've got the boys of Viridis Arcos. These are, of course, coming from La Salle, right? So, big shout out to Alberto Descalzo, John David Marquez. We've got Kilua Daloma, Ethan Duce, and Mariel Tulfo. So again, big shout out to these guys. Thank you for joining our endurance, the very first team or university team to join AAP E-Motorsports.
Yes, indeed. And looks like their first time joining here might secure them the podium if they maintain this performance for their team. But I don't want to jinx it yet, because maybe later on they might fall off. So at least they need to maintain this, and they need to be consistent here in the endurance race. Less than 40 minutes has been done already, but there is 2 more hours that they need to pass through in order to secure that podium finish for Viridis Arcos.
You know what the keyword was?
Keyword.
Might.
There's might.
Win
There's
the podium.
Not sure yet.
That's true. But, one thing that I've noticed so far when it comes to the rankings here, SSR got pushed down another rank.
Ay, wow, shoutout naman daw natin yung tech crew natin dyan.
Oh yeah, big shout out to Direct Colleagues and of course a big DC, right? They're handling the
DC
production.
tandem, sarap ng,
Yeah.
sarap ng control sa joystick na focus yung sarili doon. Very, very nice. Again, thank you, shout out to the PTZ cameras, the N350 and the N400. Okay. Again, these Arcos protecting that usually that they have from the rest of the racers that we have up front. Hindi pa sila up front, pero second na sila in case they can protect this lead. Again,
because of the pit strategy nga, we do expect talaga a lot of reshuffle to happen. And so far, SSR, I believe they were the first one to go for the pit, right? But currently they are at P7 here. NXT Racing, nag-pit na sila.
Yep.
So currently they are at P4. Medyo like mas mataas pa rin yung position nila compared to SSR. But just like what you said, diba? Hindi pa naman tapos. We still have, 2 hours to go for the race, and SSR can slowly climb back, or climb their way in back to P1.
Yes, and the gap is not that high for these two teams of Speedy Racers and SSR OG. I think earlier it was SSR OG claiming that number 6 spot, but I think Speedy Bakers already doing their job, living up to their name, being speedy and overtaking SSR OG. But looking at it, this is going to be NXT Racing still on to the number 4 spot, still having a hard time chasing off MSAE Racing Team.
Kanina nakita ko si Speedy Bakers nasa bottom of the leaderboards,
Yes,
diba? Right?
They're on the 7th or 8th spot earlier.
But now they are P6.
Yeah.
So hindi lang pala Speedy Bakers, Speedy Racers din pala.
Yes,
Yeah.
Ayun, hindi na
And
to
a big
yung
shout
dalawa.
out guys
Pa-shoutout
to
na
our
lahat.
broad team, mga nagagandahan at naggagawa puhang mga nilalang. Grabe naman. Very cute ang ating Derek Collex. Yes.
Ayan. But again, all we want to see is will they finish strong with maybe the Pro Racer or the Pro-Am Racer? Inuuna ba ng SSR OG yung kanilang mga amateurs, the beginners? Kaya binibigay muna na yung lead for now because we have seen their firepower when they duked it out with the rest of the pros dito sa ating qualifying. They even locked in P1, but we're seeing them fall off in terms of pace for all our other drivers. But the question, the logical thing is if maybe they have chosen a strategy that puts the beginners first and then have their pros catch up at the tail end of our race.
Well, to be fair, we haven't seen, this race taking shape for now. Since nandun pala tayo sa first stage here where they start to swap drivers, they start to do the challenges here. So, to be fair, hindi pa talaga to yung magiging final rankings nila dito. But the Scuderia GR Esports team, these are the guys formerly known as Sports Predict?
Yes,
Sports Predict, right?
Last year.
I haven't seen them climb up the ranks just yet. And these guys, they know what they're doing. Kung tawagin nga namin sila, these are the Monza boys and girls.
Yes, but one thing that's quite interesting talaga right now is meron na tayong 2 other teams who have chosen to pit as well. So, ang tanong, is this a plan or is this a reaction to the rest of the grid? Gusto na ba nilang mag-pit ng early or are they really forced to do so because of an early pit advantage that they want to achieve, no? But again, we are seeing on screen, we have different types of challenges. We have food and beverage challenges natin as well as physical challenges. We have burpees happening right now. May uminom ng, ano ba yung mga challenges natin?
Oh, well, obviously there are burpees. We've got the hot choco challenge, which is a famous one here in the endurance series. So, imagine you chugging down on a hot choco. I don't know if you can actually do it, but during our case noon, medyo hinipan ko muna for like 2 minutes kasi we have to be fast, in doing the challenge. We have to get back on track here. But you can see yung mga teams natin dito. We have one chugging down on something. I'm not exactly sure kung ano yung drink na
Strawberry matcha, I guess.
Strawberry matcha.
Yeah.
At least it's good, right? I mean, we're
Yes,
talking
it's
about
delicious, right?
strawberry
It's not
matcha. We're talking about a hot choco. We're talking about a cheesecake. A brownie that you have to eat. It's a win-win pa rin, for the teams.
And looking at it, guys, we're still here at Korsa Cafe for the National Esports Championship 2026. So if you're here, make sure to do some reels and post it online. So guys, we've seen Viridis Arcos finally pitting again. Maybe, is this a strategy or are this going to be a backfire on them? Because for sure, their lead will be cut down by NXT Racing by a big.
We actually have 3 teams at the pit at the moment, right? We also have Upfront Racing and MSAE Racing team prepping to go for another driver swap. I believe this is the second time for Viridis Arcos.
No, it's
It's the second time.
I'm not sure if it's we'll see the pit count mamaya. Pero again, siguro you could see, no? Ito yung sabi ko, epic na dito lang mangyayari yan. Maglalaban yung Mapua versus Lasal. Kasi ano naman natin, hindi naman nagtatagpo yung
Is this a
landas yan.
rivalry?
Kasi yung AAP and NC yan eh. Pero again, pinagbubuklod natin sila dito sa ating 2026 National Esports Championship. We have MSAE, which is the Mapua team right now at P6, and they're already pitting. Again, shuffling the drivers, checking out kung sino yung makaka-make up ng lost time. And on the other end naman sa P1, we have Viridis Arcos. NXT Racing now making sure that they're capitalizing on this pit decision from Viridis Arcos, securing that P1. But here we have a dogfight right now, P8 versus P9. We have Scuderia GR Esports team being chased by the Carters. SSR Carters securing that P8. Again, taking it away. But as I say that, the MSA Racing team has slid down to P9 because of the pit decision that they have. Again, this is a great overtake by the SR Carters, building more than a second lead with the Scuderia GR Esports team. Talaga parang nang agaw ng candy yung mga bata. Kasi mga bata mga SR Carters natin. So good job on that dogfight.
Okay, so let me just give this information, by the way. Sports Predict, they were the group that got awarded during the AAP Awards night for winning the amateur endurance, right? Amateur endurance race. Currently, they are at the bottom, you know. So medyo hindi ko. Well, for me, it's unusual, right? Considering the rep of this group, right?
Award, right?
So I'm curious kung kaya pa nila akyatin yung rankings natin dito.
Well, we have no idea din kasi on who was deployed first. And maybe they're reserving their top drivers at a latter part of this race. We'll never know because maybe a late start in the early stages of this race is beneficial for them. Maybe giving them an advantage to their opponents. But let's see if they can at least push through onto the latter part of this endurance race. Because what we've said earlier, this early start, early doesn't mean anything if you lose at the latter stages of this race.
And back at the top, ladies and gents, we got our NXT Racing. Ang bilis, di ba?
Yes.
And then, coming from P2, we got the Speedy Bakers. O, di ba? Slow and steady, pero surely.
Yes.
Veloce Regazzo also doing great so far, currently holding P3 position. Upfront Racing definitely trying to catch on. But since Viridis Arcos decided to go for the pit, currently they are at P5. Now, I haven't really seen SSR OG going aggressive just yet, but they are moving slowly. They're moving up slowly, and it's great to see now that they're holding P5, pushing down Viridis Arcos.
Yes, indeed. And looks like the two SSR teams are here and crawling their way slowly but surely into the standings. And looking at it also, Viridis Arcos falling once again because of that pit earlier. So I think they need to at least establish a change of pace maybe at this current stage of this race, knowing that Speedy Bakers already on the P2. Earlier, they were in P7 and P6, but now they are at a podium. Might be a podium.
Might
if
be a
they
podium
maintain
finish.
This lead. And Veloce Ragazzo earlier, they were on P6, now climbing their way into P3. That is a statement that you need from an experienced team.
You know what? SSR OG was able to take that P5, but you know what? SSR Carter said no. We're gonna take it back. So SSR was able to take P5 back. And again, you know, I haven't really seen SSR go full aggressive just yet. Maybe you're right. Maybe they are reserving their more experienced driver to drive during the latter stages of this match. But so far, again, it's a steady ride for NXT. This is the second time that they actually reclaimed the top position. So in terms of consistency, I guess for now we can give it to NXT Racing. They are doing absolutely great. Now we're waiting for the other teams who recently went for the pit, like MSA Racing Team. We've got Virtus Artis as well to climb back up. But I don't see any improvement just yet, you know. And I've been talking about this since, you know, a while ago. Scuderia GR Esports team, they are still currently at P7 here.
Yes, earlier before we had the first pits on the team, Scuderia secured a P5 spot. Now they are on the P7. Looks like they're falling up slowly into this race. I don't know if there is some part of strategy in this last placing almost, but I think they need to at least improve their placements if they want to secure a podium finish. But looking at this one, the closest teams recently are the SSR Carters and SSR OG. SSR OG has been overtaken by the SSR Carters at this point, taking that P5 spot, while Upfront Racing claiming that P4 quickly after the pit from the MSAE Racing team.
I think we also need to recognize the weather, you know, that we have today.
Yes.
So you can see on the screen here, it's clear. Air temperature is at 26 degree Celsius, 50% humidity, and 37 degrees when it comes to the temperature. How do you think this is going to affect the race, coach?
Well, definitely ideal for racing, but also as the tires heat up, the grip might be a little bit too tricky for our team. So again, tire management is going to play a huge role, especially on the tail end of our race. When you look at it, if you're choosing to have your pro drive on the front end, then he would have a better ideal situation. That also means that you are giving someone else more problems on the tail end kasi they would have to deal with a car that's a little bit of a slip and slide pagdating sa ating corners. Again, the Lotus Elise, not a good friend when it comes to approaching your turn.
And
So
we
very tricky.
saw earlier that Speedy Baker is already wanting to pit. Maybe this is going to be an advantage for them because I think they already established a lead that can't be easily taken down by their opponents. So for now, we're seeing a team that will do another challenge out here, but this is going to be Scuderia Esports team. This will be a hard time for them because SSR OG not backing away from the challenge of the chase from Scuderia with 1.37 hundredths of a second for the chase down from their team.
You know, it's a steady drive as well for the Veloce Ragazzo. They're doing great.
Top two.
Yep, currently holding P2 position here, guys. Scuderia finally, I think they moved up one rank here. Now at P7. So I guess there is a team here doing a challenge so far. If you are here, you can definitely hear them screaming, you know, and just
Taking away the pain.
cheering for their teammate to finish that hot choco, you know, chug it down, finish that strawberry matchup, brother. And then we'll continue on to the race here. You can see some of them already doing the planking here, getting ready for another driver swap. So this is not gonna be easy. Again, I've already tried this. You really have to exert a lot of energy just to stay or just to be stable at this point.
Does it reset once you fall down, or does it reset before?
Yes.
Oh.
If you fail to do the challenge, you have to reset.
Oh my!
That means the timer goes back to 0.
Oh my.
And you have to do it all over again.
Akala ko
So
kasi
they
may
just need to push themselves further and further. Tired and then the focus while you drive, then your energy is drained because of the plank. Oh my!
Oo,
What a
di ba
challenge.
raw, may bebe buff naman daw si Robin eh. Nakita naman, nagawa naman in one run, di ba? Pero pulang-pula yan, pulang-pula. Okay, again, this is on-site. No? You can hear, kung nandito kayo guys, maganda lang yung microphone natin kasi we're using the Rode microphone. But like, on-site, you can actually hear people shouting at each other, medyo may playful tone, telling them na tapusin yung plank in one try because if they do fail, they will have to do it all over again.
Yeah. Iba talaga yung yung level ng adrenaline
Yeah.
at the moment. Again, this is not just about driving. It's about going through the challenges as well and doing it right.
Yes.
So far, we can hear Robin Tan, and the
screams.
rest of the group from the NXT Racing just really trying to keep up the pace here. So far, they are holding on to P1 and they are killing this.
Yes, indeed, maintaining that top spot. But I think of Lesho Ragazzo within 1 second of the lead, and I think they need to maintain this performance in order to catch up to NXT Racing. And now they are being followed as well by Upfront Racing. Two of them are within striking distance, I guess. But let's see what will happen to Velocio Ragazzo, as this will be a less than 1 second of a deficit, if ever.
Okay, let me correct myself. Robin Tan pala is part of the Society of Wonderful Speed Dynamic Tycoon Wizards and Bake Shop with Laundromat or Turon Shop.
Yes.
Parang minagic lang yung plank eh. Sabi niya, Turon! Ganun.
Turon!
Okay, SSROG right now, sila yung medyo may challenge to catch up with the Scuderia GR Esports team. But SSR Carters headed to the pit. Nauna sila ang mag-pit over SSROG, yung kanilang counterpart. So let's see kung mababawi ba yung place for P5 and P6 over our P4 drivers as well. So NXT Racing pulling away with almost a minute of a gap sa ating P2, which is the Veloce Ragazzo Sim 2 Premier. NXT Racing again, mukhang nag-play out naman yung kanilang strategy with a roughly 40-minute driver run before they shift. But let's see if that will happen. Again, SSROG, magkasunod lang sila na SSR Carters. Both teams now at the pit.
Oh!
And you can see the cute Carters from SSR. Arkin is right there, part of the team.
Are these the Carters?
Yeah, we have Diana Blanco, di ba? Dati kasi parang juniors, we have the young ones, no? Marcus Lacambra as well, also a Carter. Ito yung mga Carters natin, comprising the SSR Carters team right now with the challenge. Again, SSROG also in the pit, waiting for their turn to also do their challenge of their own. So, dalawang teams ang field na SSR for this race. At tanong, sino kaya mauuna sa dalawa?
Well, we are seeing the challenge being done by the team, and to highlight the one in stripes, that's going to be Arkin Rodriguez with the Wonder Kid for this race at the early stages of this, at his age, right?
Yes.
I think he's the youngest that is competing here.
One of the youngest,
youngest,
yes.
yes.
But I think for the endurance race, he is the youngest.
He's the youngest,
here.
This kid's got potential because he competes at this stage of this race.
Oh, yeah.
He
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
deserved this spot here at the endurance race. So at least we see that they are having a hard time with this plank, guys. They're putting all the blood, their sweat, and that plank, I think, is over.
Oh!
1 minute plank has been survived by this team. And who's gonna go at the rig for that driver's swap?
I think Arkin Rodriguez has also teamed up with Diana Blanco,
Yes.
which is another stellar driver competing
who
with
won earlier,
us.
right?
We have
Yes.
Carters, yes.
One of the female drivers who competed in the all-women's grid that we've had earlier.
Okay, so yan. Pit challenge, again, both SSR teams trying to complete the challenge. Gusto ko yung one take lang talaga sa lahat sa kanila yung planking, no? And if you were here, you would hear yung countdown ng buong barangay when malalapit na lang matapos. But right now, on the track,
Is
there
there
seems to be a
something on your
problem
car?
with one of our drivers. So we're gonna check it out why medyo static yung ating car na nasa track, no? We're gonna check that out very, very soon. But again, we are live right now coming to you from the Korsa Korsa Pitstop Cafe. Again, there's a lot of action, both in the sims, no, in
Their team
the
is
track,
planking.
and also in real life para sa mga drivers natin.
Yep. So just to give you guys a brief background, for the SSR team, this team is built on passion, community, and performance. They are a collective of dedicated sim racers who strive for excellence, both on and off a track. So more than just a racing team, they are a community where every driver has the opportunity to grow, compete, succeed, and most importantly, have fun. So the team is splitted where the OG are sim racers and the other is a group of karters. So again, no questions when it comes to their history of sim racing and karting. Again, they are competing for the endurance leg here at the National Esports Championship. On screen, you can see that some of the teams are trying to complete all of the challenges, some of them still inside the track.
Yes, indeed. And looking at the team of SSR, they have a diverse team and players because they have the sim racers, they have the karters. Maybe later on, they might deploy another set of drivers back here, maybe. So let's see here if we will be seeing a finish in the missions or challenges for this team. I think this will be another plank out here. So this team is currently the sim racing grid number 8, which will be Scuderia GR Esports, which comprises of Frederick Agustin, Gab
Nangsin.
Nangsin, Carl Peduca, and Ruangela Nulian. And their profile is here. They were known previously as the Sports Predict last
Yes.
year during the 2025 AAP National Esports AM Endurance Champions. Now, they have rebranded as Scuderia GR Esports, a group of Monza barcade goers who want to enjoy racing to the fullest.
Ayan, ito naman yung classic Frederick Agustin move of one-hand planking. We've seen this before in our previous rounds, and again, ginagawa niya naman to. I think, ito yata nagpanalo sa kanila last year eh. Yung one-hand planking na ginagawa ni Frederick. Hindi ko alam kung may buff pa yun, kaya kasi nanalo sila last year eh, sa endurance race for amateurs eh. But again, on the screen, we have the Scuderia GR Esports team trying to complete the challenge for the drivers. Wow, ayan. Si Ruangela Nulian naman ang kasama nila. Last year it was Gwen. No?
Yeah. Kailangan mag-level up daw eh. Kailangan nakatago yung isang kamay sa likod.
Kaya classic Frederick.
Reserving it for the steering wheel.
Ayaw niya ma-stress yung isa niyang kamay. But I think they are done with the challenge, so they need to sign off with one of our stewards and marshals to get back behind the wheel and continue on with the endurance race.
Yes, and after that 1 minute plank, they will enjoy one glass of water each. So at least they are nourished and hydrated after that quick plank on the challenge. But now let's see who will be the one to be deployed. Another team has pitted, and this will be another. What team is this? I'm not sure.
Medyo maliit yung font, guys. Pero I think this might be the Mapua team kasi I feel like pare-pareho sila ng shirt dyan. No? We have Adrich.
Yep. I think
MSAE, right?
okay, let's check out the names on their shirts.
MSAE, Eldridge, Rancevalle, Joseph Maculon,
Yep.
Adrian James Sanchez, Mishka Mendoza with the alternate Azalea Ragidin. This is MSAE Racing again. A new esports team coming from the Mapua College of Manila. They have been working behind the scenes to form their roster. Alam natin, nagkakaroon na ng clamor for sim racing teams for our schools, universities, and that's a great addition.
Yeah. If I remember this correctly, this was one of the challenges na nahirapan yung group ni Diana Blanco before.
The plank.
Yes, the planking. I think it was with her brother, younger brother, and unfortunately, wala pa yung time, tumigil siya mag-plank. So you know what happened?
The reset? Yeah.
They went for a reset, I think not just once but twice.
So I think that was the nail in the coffin
That's
there for
heartbreaking.
yes for Diana Blanco and her team last year. So it's great to see that she came back, for another competition here at the endurance race. But we can see on the screen the guys from MSA Racing are done, I guess, and they're about to head back to continue also with the endurance race. So far, so good for NXT. They are still currently at P1. We've got Veloce Regazzo at P2 and Upfront Racing at P3, pushing down Speedy Bakers.
Yes, indeed. But looking at the lead established by NXT Racing, once they pit, they at least have established 60 or 50 seconds lead against the Veloce Regazzo. But looking at the Viridis Arcos, they were the ones who was leading earlier, but now they were pushed down to P7. That is going to be a sixth place gap between the NXT Racing. So for SSR OG, the one who was leading in the earlier stages of the race, was still on the 7th spot. I don't know what is happening to them. Maybe they're falling off. But the counterparts of SSR Carters is now on P5, maintaining this spot and also within striking distance within SPD Bakers.
It's a really great opportunity ngayon for our teams to play catch up. It does feel, if you're watching, it does feel like ang laki-laki ng gap, a minute, more than a minute. No? But these are, again, strategies of the teams. And even so, after you do see this ranking, provisional pa lang yan because there's also a lot of things that's gonna come up. One of the reasons na nagkakaroon tayo ng mix-up pagdating sa rankings from the post-games is, yun nga, the marshals are watching their every move. Meron tayong mga violations na pwedeng mag-incur ng penalties. And also, talaga bang 45 minutes per driver o may lumalampas na? Meron pa talagang nasobrahan ng gigil sa pagdadrive for our best drivers out there. Again, communication plays a huge and vital part dito sa mga teams na we have inside.
For now, we just have to, of course, check out the drivers here and their positions, but take note that this is not going to be the final one. Kasi syempre, just like what you said, Coach, diba, we have to go through the drivers later on or the teams. We have to check for penalties kasi pwede nga namang nasobrahan na, no? So 45 minutes yung mga drivers natin dito. We don't exactly know kung pumasok ba talaga sila dun sa time frame where they need to swap. There's also that possibility that pwede kang nag-bump to other drivers. Maybe you caused something. We saw a car kanina actually stalled, diba?
Yeah.
In the middle of the track.
Yes.
We don't even know who that team
team
was,
is it?
right? So that one, we still have to consider. We will be checking out, the information with the stewards, with the marshals later on, and we're definitely going to be showing it to you guys mamaya.
Yes, indeed. And when we get back there, let's look at the standings currently and the last 2 hours of our race, because the first hour has been concluded and the one still leading on to this race is NXT Racing. This is going to be the P1, and for P2 we have Veloce Regazzo with at least a 60 seconds of a deficit against NXT Racing, followed by the P3 Upfront Racing also with a 60-second at least deficit from the Veloce Regazzo, followed by the Speedy Bakers, the top 2 earlier, now pushed down to P4, and also the SSR Carters from P7 slowly crawling their way to that P5. Already on the 6th spot earlier, they were P5 is Escuderia GR Esports, followed by the Viridis Arcos, which was the top 1 seed earlier. And the second to the last is SSR OG, in which we already remember they were the ones on the top spot in the early start of this race, but now they are on P7. But last but not least is MSAE, or the recently pitted team of the Mapua, is on the 9th spot. So I think they need to at least more hustle, more focus, and at least more pedal into that gas.
Oh, wow.
Diba? Tsaka pedal to the mental. Dapat yung mental fortitude natin, no? Kasi this is, people would always think circuit racing is easy. You're just going around. It's
Yes.
diba? Paikot-ikot lang. But this is tricky. You actually feel a sense of complacency, and the next thing you know, you're spinning out of your apex, you're spinning out of control, you're even endangering yung inyong place dito sa grid. So, relax lang, chill lang sa drive, pero wag naman aabot sa point na overconfident. And that's how we know na yung sim racers talaga natin are really focused in terms of their team strategy, in terms of like how they approach each turn, how they balance out the power and the control when they are commanding yung kanilang presence sa kanilang track.
Kaya honestly, Coach, I now understand, why they call this a discipline. Kasi, right, you go around
Yeah.
in circles, inside a track here, and people would think like, okay, these are just cars going around, but it's like what you said, very, very tricky. This is endurance, so it means that you're gonna drive for longer hours, and sometimes you become too complacent, sometimes you get too relaxed, sometimes you get too pressured that you oversteer or you understeer. Lots of incidents can definitely happen here, but the important thing is that, again, the discipline on how to control the car, how to manage the car, the precision, the skills, everything, in order to pull off like a very, very good race. And so far, I can say NXT Racing has been amazing.
Yeah.
For a long time, Coach, they are holding on to P1.
Kaya nga,
Very
tanong who's
consistent.
next sa next, di ba?
Oh, sino next to next?
Diba? Meron ba talagang mag-challenge pa sa kanila, or they're just gonna run away with this and really pull away with that huge, huge lead that they have, okay? Again, a huge shout out to everyone who makes this possible, to all our sponsors, and most especially this is presented to you by AAP, or the Automobile Association of the Philippines. A huge shout out to them, and also if you haven't checked out their responsible motoring series for our whole month of May and June, no? Kasama natin sa desk right now yung host ng web series na yun, si Redfin Andy or si Andy Lopez. So, do check it out, no? Follow them on their socials. Watch out kung ano yung mga announcements, not just for sim racing or e-motorsports, but also for all the other motorsports disciplines that are slowly, trying to get active again, despite all the challenges we have with the global economy and the gasoline prices at a sky high.
Tama ka dun, Coach. Alam mo, okay, just to keep you guys updated with everything that is happening, I still haven't seen SSROG, slowly or reclaim their spot in the leaderboard. How many? We're done with the first hour, right?
Yes.
And we're still waiting for them to show us a little bit of power, but to climb up those ranks. Maybe they are struggling a bit, but the race is not over just yet. We can definitely see them go back up, pretty much just like what happened. SSROG now taking P7 against Scuderia.
Yes, slowly but surely move from the SSROG. We still remember the placement that they established earlier in this race with a P1 lead, but now looks like the tides have turned. NXT Racing still leading the pack, and I can see here on the P7 and the P8, I guess, this is just a close match between the Scuderia GR Esports team and SSROG. There might be some overtakes and there might be some dogfights that we might see because they are really close to each other, but MSA E-Racing team still quite far away in striking distance against SSROG.
Yes, definitely. Pero gusto ko yung climb up ng SSROG right now, trying to make sure that they catch up to Viridis Arcus, maybe take back that spot. Again, if you really look at it, the top three teams natin from the start of the grid are SSR, Viridis, and NXT, if I'm not mistaken. But it's just NXT who's able to hold on to that P1 for a long, long time. Tricky in terms of okay, shout out to our gwapong-gwapong martial law right there. Ganda naman ang shot na yun, powered by Canon, no? Talagang walang force si Lo, no? Nakalag natin. Pero may the force be with you, everyone, as you witness our endurance race this evening.
SSROG 232 for the
for their last lap kanina. So we are keeping track, of course, yung mga laps, lap times natin dito coming from the teams. Looking at their position at the moment, Speedy Bakers kanina, they're already dominating, but they got pushed down back to P4. We got our Rally Daddy on screen at the moment saying hi to everyone. And shout out to you, Rally Daddy.
Di ko lang matutuwa ako din sa joystick itong mga technical directors natin. But again, that's the thing. We're also here not just to compete, but to also have a complete experience. No? Hindi lang complete dapat. May entertainment, di ba? May skills, showcase, and of course, meron shoutout sa mga tao nagpapagana ng ating tournament for the whole.
Oh yeah, I'm very happy kasi most of the KOLs and influencers that I talked to kanina, they definitely enjoyed every moment driving in sim racing. There were even talks about it's not like the arcade, the usual games that they play. Sim racing is definitely an exciting game to explore. So hopefully we can convert more drivers from our influencers and KOLs and media. On screen, ladies and gents, we have Miss Diana Blanco, rig number 5. Yes,
SSR Carters, no?
SSR, yes sir.
Okay. At climbing up sila. The SSR Carters only now with top 5, no? The woman racer natin, Diana Blanco, trying to catch up to the Speedy Bakers, maybe climb up dun sa ating ranking. And again, we are witnessing SSR OG chipping away at the lead that Scuderia GR Esports team has, now cutting it down to less than a second as we watch them on screen, trying to catch up. Really great exit dun sa Apex na yun. Mas maganda yung speed nila sa exit, and that's why they're catching up. Now, 0.62 seconds na lang, and while that is happening, we also have a very good advocacy and racism now, sabi ng isa nating drivers. So, shout out, yes. We are race sisters, but we are not racist.
Oh, yes.
Race sisters, yes.
And racism. But we are all racerists. Ano ba? Do we go for racist or racerist? I don't know.
Racists. Kasi race sisters.
Race sisters. So, yeah, we can see them doing the planking, doing a challenge here.
Concern ni Loy.
Na-expose yung lower back.
Yeah.
But you can see the concentration, from the players here, or from the drivers rather. You don't want to repeat or
Yes.
reset the time
This is
and start
pain.
all over again. It's definitely gonna hurt their laps, their time here. So every second counts.
Yes, and this black, I think they need to at least put in a lot of focus because they put a lot of effort into their lead earlier, but now looks like the black has been finished. Let's drink a cup of water to at least be rehydrated for this next driver swap.
Yep. And by the way, these are the guys coming from Veloce Regasso.
Yeah, so exciting naman ng ating... Oh, we have an overtake right now happening. This is SSR OG really chasing down.
They're close.
So
There's a ball.
having that lead, 0.16, and now pulling away. SSR OG right now exiting that turn on P7 instead of P8. So the GR Esports team trying to catch up. Will it be enough? Will it be a challenge for SSROG, or will SSROG run away with P7 and maybe prove to possible P6? Okay.
Okay, here we go. I mean, Scuderia at the moment is currently at P8. And let's see. Affront Racing now was able to take P2 kasi nga Veloce Ragazzo took that challenge, right? So currently they are at P3 and they're still doing good time here. I think I can say the same, for Speedy Bakers. They have been pretty consistent. I don't see any incidents coming from the team. They are at P4. On screen, you can see May Gomilla Okay, there, May Gamilla.
Yes.
Again, this is, or she is rather, the only female driver in the top 40 Toyota Gazoo GT and also the brand ambassador for Sim2 Premier.
Yeah, we're seeing
That's
more
why.
women take place and really drive dito sa ating, I think third driver swap most of them no, for our race. But then again, that is NXT Racing. We know that they have been leading. It's all up to May Gumila if she's able to protect that lead, really take over and pull away from Upfront Racing, who's taken over P2.
Okay. All right, here we go. MSA Racing Team, they went to the pit kanina lang, but still, nasa bottom ranking sila at the moment, but we can still see them go up the ranks later on. Baka nagre-reset lang din, you know. They're trying to get back to their rhythm. They're trying to get back to the momentum here. But still a stellar performance, you know, for NXT Racing. Mukhang wala na silang balak i-let go ang P1 position here.
Pero looks like they're going to the pit. You've like jinxed it, Miss Andy. Now they're on to the pit, and this might be an opportunity for Upfront Racing to at least claim the top spot into the standings. But Velocio Ragazzo also wanting to make this an upper part on the standings. They might go for the P2, but still, this is not yet the end because we will be seeing another team that will do another challenge. I'm not sure what is it. I think this is going to be a flag for NXT.
This is NXT,
This
yeah.
is going to be the flag.
Yep, NXT. We have Corwin Mercado, Charles De Vega, and Jop Matubis. We also have May Gomila, you know, for this team. Currently, they're doing the planking na dito, guys. Ayan, they're getting into position. Medyo mawawala yung lead, you know, for the team. They're definitely gonna be losing the P1. But then again, after they've completed the challenges, I'm pretty sure since they have the momentum going for them, they have the pace going for them, I don't think it's going to be a problem, you know, for
Yeah.
NXT to get that P1 back.
They can reclaim it easier because they know they've established a lead earlier before quitting, right?
Ayan.
That is true.
And also, yun nga, if you really think about it, up to now, no, hindi pa nakukuha yung P1 sa kanila. That's how big of a lead they were able to build.
Do you think it was because of the fact na talagang minaximize nila yung oras nila kanina? You know, I feel like they
didn't
used all
pit
of that.
for so long, right?
45 minutes. They were the last one to go for the pit.
Yeah.
But also, May Gumila did excellent protecting that lead kasi siya yung huling driver before the swap eh. And the fact na hindi nakakuha ng advantage yung mga trailers natin and nauna pa rin siya building more than a minute of a lead. That is really great. And now they're shaking each other up. Pinapababa yung ininom. No? And the next driver will be up for NXT Racing, still maintaining that P1 position.
Iba talaga eh. Iba yung energy. Again, iba talaga yung vibe, no, ng mga teams natin dito and drivers on site. Again, May Gomila is just doing great and just showing everyone why she is the ambassador, the representative for Sim2 Premier.
Yeah.
You can follow her on Facebook. I guess she's most active on Facebook and Instagram. So, nandun yung rig niya, yung kakabuo lang ng Sim2 Premier. So, that's why.
Mainit-init pa.
Oo, mainit-init pa. And we can see, you know, there has been like a big improvement with May Gomila in terms of consistency talaga dito. And I do wonder if NXT Racing at some point will be losing ground here. Pero so far, kita nyo, nag-pit na sila and everything. But still,
They're
P1.
still consistent, yes, into the P1. And I'm curious on the strategy deployed by NXT Racing because I think this is still a second pit. And yet, they still maintain the lead. Is there a possibility they deploy the pro followed by the female? Because still, the lead is secured for NXT Racing. Maybe the next driver might be a pro amateur. So there's a possibility that they strategically deployed a pro at the start, a second female, so at least the lead will not be cut through. So I'm not sure. Maybe they deployed an amateur, or they're reserving the pro amateur on the latter stages of this race.
And that is the risk that they're willing to take, no? But the fun thing is, if you look at the grid right now, when you look at P6 to P8, biglang dikit-dikit. Kanina we're witnessing more than 15 seconds, di ba? 45 seconds. But right now, medyo nag-sift through na yung ating first 4 racers, and then dikit-dikit yung ating P6 to P5 to P8, no? Again, we are not counting out any of these teams because we don't know if their strategy is gonna play out, di ba? We talked about this a lot, paulit-ulit na sinasabi, sino ba nakaupo? Pro na ba yan? Siya na ba yung hahabol? Gusto ba natin yung nagpapabugbog lang sa umpisa na team na pinauna namin yung mga sabihin na nating beginner drivers namin, tapos banatan namin kayo sa dulo when it's slippery, when it's tricky, when the tires are really tricky to control. And here we have SSR OG, I believe, racing. One of our back markers na unahan niya, no, in front of, if you're seeing na wala masyadong difference, is because back marker yan yung in-overtake nila. Again, making up for lost time. SROG still at P7, but hindi pwedeng huminto ng pagbibuild ng gap of Viridis Arcos because breathing down their neck, SSROG is intending to take back the P1 that they gained during qualifiers.
I'm actually looking for Scuderia. Okay, Scuderia still at P8 here. MSA Racing Team hasn't recovered yet. They're still at the bottom, no?
So far from the Scuderias at this point. And maybe later on, if they continue to play at this pace, I think they're going to P9 at this stage. Because looking at this as well, the lap times, the fastest currently is NXT Racing, followed by the upfront, which lies on 2 minutes and 30. So if their performance is consistent for NXT Racing, you can almost see that they're really fast at this point.
That's true. Pero so far kasi we're done with the first hour.
Yeah.
So consistency talaga, it's NXT Racing at the moment. Do you think that they have maybe done the correct strategy for this?
Well,
right? I mean,
yes.
Again, the dynamic will definitely change, right? Kasi maybe they went for the pro driver first, maximizing that 45-minute window, which did them absolutely great. And now they are sort of reaping their rewards, but again, it's too early to say. But like in terms of consistency, NXT really is at the strongest position at the moment.
Yeah, the established lead from NXT is really showing off at this stage of this race, ladies and gents. But looking at it, there's another team that is doing the challenge off the plank. Later on, let's see whose team is it and who's going to reclaim the spot that they've left off.
Which team is this? I'm trying to check out, which team is actually doing or going through the challenge. I believe these are the guys from not MSA, but maybe Afron. But we'll give you guys the information later on. Hindi kasi katulad ng ng NXT Racing naka-jersey, with the name, at the back. So it's easy for us.
I think pag may nakikita natin yung direct, mas malaking game feed, makikita natin kung sino yung nasa pit. Kasi I feel like it's just one team na nasa pit. But again, we are interested to see if the strategies are gonna play out in the end for all our racers. No, again, we have a great mix of racers. Nakikita nyo, di ba? Medyo juniors yung ating racers in terms of age, but it doesn't mean junior lang din sila in terms of skill. No, a lot of our players, I believe, okay, let's look at the grid now. We see it's really upfront racing. Tama si Red Window, yung upfront racing. You look at them. They look like they're tiny tots na kasama sa ating grid. But you look at them in terms of the grid, they're at P4 even now at the pit. No?
Alam mo, hindi talaga ako makapaniwala talaga. SSROG still at P7 here, guys. They haven't improved yet, coming back from that first pit. They're still at P7 here.
But let's see, how long nila makuha or how long will it take for them to actually move up ranks here. For the Speedy Bakers, okay, slowly but surely as well. Still at P3 here. We have the SSR Carters naman doing great so far. Now at P4, and again, it all boils down on the consistency of the teams here and how good they are in terms of what this discipline demands.
Yes.
Okay, Viridis Arcos right now challenging upfront racing. Galing lang sa pit. Viridis Arcos right now with this turn taking the outer lane, but upfront racing protecting that inner lane, making the optimal choice in terms of the spacing natin. Upfront racing still able to defend that challenge from Viridis Arcos, but Viridis Arcos right now wheel to wheel, 2 lanes yung ating Silverstone track, no? Pagdating sa kanila, pwede naman tayo sabay na pumasok dito sa lane na to, but the inner lane still being protected by upfront racing. Viridis Arcos still trying to find a space for themselves. This is again
Overtake.
A little bit of a bump ba yun? Let's try to see.
They're really close.
Ayan na. 0.08, 0.31 again. Upfront racing still pulling ahead.
The outside.
The kids are not giving up. Sabi nila, yung mga archers nasa likod namin, but amin yung arch ng turn na to. Kami yung bahalang kumontrol.
Animo! Kitang-kita at the back of the car there, just really trailing behind Upfront Racing. But it's still a good defense, coming from our P5. They're making it, a bit of a challenge from the boys of Viridis Arcos, but Viridis Arcos is up for that challenge. They're really going, for that P5. Let's see who's going to be winning this.
I think there's a little bump from those teams of Upfront and Viridis Arcos. I'm not sure if there will be some penalties deployed, because I think there will be another overtake that we've seen here. So at least Viridis Arcos maybe will maintain this spot on P6, while SSR OG lessening or having another deficit of 2 seconds at this point. So this might be another battle against Upfront Racing. This might be an overtake, but looks like it was a successful attempt. No! It was reclaimed, but still there's a corner here that might be beneficial to the Viridis Arcos, and yes, indeed, they have secured that P5. Oh my god, I'm so tired of jinxing things, guys. I'm so sorry.
Well, it's definitely a back and forth. It's a tug of war currently between Viridis Arcos and Upfront Racing for that P5 position. So far, Upfront Racing is trying to catch up. To Viridis Arcos, still trying to fight back, still trying to counter here, but Viridis Arcos now, I guess, gaining a little bit of lead. Yes?
Don't look now, SSR OG is actually on the tail and really making a challenge for Upfront Racing. That's it. Taking back the P6, Upfront Racing. They find themselves hunting down P5, losing it, and now being hunted. That is a clear
not good.
spin.
Man. Oh, that.
So there you go.
Whoop.
And
Oh.
a bit of a bump on the tail, and sadly, that was a clear spin out.
Oh man, who will be receiving
The penalty, yes.
here? That's
And
the question.
how heavy the penalty is.
Yun, that's
Yes.
also the right question. But we're already halfway through the endurance
Yes.
race, and that is something that you don't want to happen.
Yes, you rarely see those types of things here in endurance races, because you don't want to damage your opponents, even though you're battling against pros, amateurs, and pro-am. Because if you damage someone, there's clearly a penalty that will be deployed to you.
So now it's a battle of the green cars. Viridis Arcos right now
The green
chasing
cars.
down the SSR Carters. SSR
Oh,
Carters are
oh,
major.
oh.
Viridis Arcos right now still taking that outer lane, giving them space. They don't want to do a collision right now, but then that was a great dive by Viridis Arcos. But still, SSR Carters
Oh no!
up on
Close.
top, protecting that inner turn, and eto na naman yung patikim ng Viridis Arcos.
Oh!
Nakikipag-dogfight, tapos papasok sa pit right after. Animo Lasal. Okay,
Yes.
here we go. Here's Arcos in the pit. The NXT Racing still building on that
Right.
lead. Look at that. It's more than a minute.
Oh man. this is, NXT Racing definitely convincing me at the moment that they have the best strategy, for this race. But oh my lord, I am feeling a little bit hungry. I can see all of those
Kinda
sweet
cheesy back there.
cookies. We got cheesecake, pesto. Oh man, it's making me hungry. But yeah, I mean, obviously the players or the drivers rather have to finish off this food, devour them before they can get back on track here. So I already said this, it's a win-win, situation.
We'll take it. Yeah. Because I'm not sure if they were able to share those or they need to nibble all of it. Who's going to nibble down those cheesecakes? Oh, well, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But for sure that pasta will be a challenge for them to devour it. But let's look at another team who's undergoing the 1-minute plank challenge, followed by a 5 glasses of water.
So, eto ba yung mga Virtus artists natin? Yes.
I think this Viridus,
Oh, okay.
they
So,
finally chose to pit. Yes, the
Okay.
one who pitted even sinalpok yung camera.
Very clear strategy nila, no? Medyo mahaba yung mga intervals before they pit. That's why you're seeing them do the second challenge pa lang. While our kitchen, dito sa Korsa Pitstop Cafe,
Do you
have
think-
already presented yung challenge number 2.
what do you think, Coach? What will it take for the other teams to take out NXT Racing from P1?
They should hope that there's tire wear or something.
Yeah.
Or something that happens.
Or a spin-off, maybe.
Yeah, but to be a good competitor, you don't really wish ill on your competitors. You're just like, I want to do my best, I want to show you all the time. You're just hoping na, alam mo yun, ma-stretch pa yung time and maybe a differential of like a 1 second, 3 seconds per lap with the right amount of laps, then you can catch up.
Alam mo pa, magkaiba talaga kami ni Coach eh. If I were competing, I would definitely wish for other competitors that, come on, make a mistake.
Yeah.
Come on, oversteer.
Oversteer,
Come on, understeer.
Go to the
Please,
outer track.
spin off.
So you're steering up trouble.
Yeah, I love to stir up trouble, but it's a good thing we're tasked to do the commentary for today. So
Just
we're
the scenarios.
Yes.
We don't know what will happen.
yeah, we're still looking at the teams
The
here, and
possibilities, right?
we're amazed by the fact na talagang consistent ang NXT racing natin dito while waiting for Virtus Arcus again to finish off the challenges. They are down to P8. Let's see how they're gonna reclaim, back their position kanina. As for Veloce Ragazzo, they haven't pitted, no? They haven't pitted
Yeah, for a long
yet,
time.
or second time pa ba?
I think, yeah.
Oh,
This is
so
their second time.
they're maximizing perhaps the 45 minutes now, holding on to that P2, but that could change easily the moment that they decide to go for the pit here. That could pave the way, for the other teams to move up. So it's up to Veloce Ragazzo to also claim back P2 when they decide to go for that pit. And as for MSA E-Racing team, I think they're struggling a bit, to move back up.
Still haven't able to get up from that quicksand on the pits. But I think later on, Viridis Arcos joining them onto the bottom parts of the race, best laps, and NXT Racing still onto the number 1 spot for the best lap currently, followed by the Veloce Ragazzo onto P2 in terms of the best lap. So they know that their drivers are capable of beating that top spot into the best laps. But looking at it behind leader, you can see it is Veloce Ragazzo and Speedy Bakers on P2 and P3 respectively, following the lead of NXT Racing. I think the lead is more than 90 seconds.
Whoa.
Is that right? Or 80?
Yes, that's we looked at the best lap. So we've known na may mga 1 second differential nga in terms of the speed. No? May 230, may 231, may 233. So all that counts. And if you look at the screen right now, the lap difference between MSA E-Racing team, they're really multiple laps behind. And what we can root for sa kanila, again, they are very serious in establishing sim racing team for Mapua. What we can say is there's a lot to learn, but there's also a challenge to improve. for the Papua racing team that we have.
Yep. And again, it's still the same, ladies and gents. NXT Racing at the top here. I already said this a while ago. I'm pretty much convinced at the fact that maybe, just maybe, they are pulling off, the best strategy here for round number 1 endurance racing. What will it take, for the other teams to take down or shut down NXT Racing being at the top spot here? So far, it's Veloce Ragazzo being consistent as well, holding on to P2 here. We got Speedy Bakers for P3. SSR OG finally, moved up ranks here, coming from P7. They're now holding on to P4, but SSR Carters, kanina, they're also doing a great thing so far, a great performance rather. So it's going to be an interesting fight if they can actually overtake Speedy Bakers,
yeah.
or the same. I think they're having like a civil war happening, for P4 and P5, because we got boys or like drivers coming from the same team here.
Both are from the same teams, but looking at it, looks like Speedy Bakers already decided to pit, and this might be a change into the leaderboards once again, into the placements. So possibly SSR OG might claim a spot if they manage their pace at the right point. Also, I'm not sure if what challenge the Speedy Bakers will do, because they have decided for a driver swap at this point. So let's look at it, and what challenge are they going to do?
Oh yeah, big shout out to our stewards and our marshals. They have been doing great so far, monitoring the situation and just making sure everyone is following the rules and regulations set out by this tournament. Now we're looking at drivers here, and I believe again these are Robin Tan and the rest of the crew here from Speedy Bakers. Yeah, they are about to finish off those cheesecakes, pesto, pasta. You really have to have this discussion with the team. Okay, who's gonna eat the cheesecake? Who's gonna drink the strawberry magic? Who's gonna eat the pesto?
For those, right?
Yes. Who's fast at bunching food?
Yeah. Who's going to swallow it whole, right?
Exactly.
Well, let's see.
Tanong nga, who will assert the dessert?
Oh, okay.
Who's got a sweet tooth
Abby
on
Yusuf.
this team?
The Pasta and the Furious na tayo.
The Fast and the Furious,
One
guys.
of our favorite segments here. Kanina, Fast and the Fitness. Ngayon naman, Pasta and the Furious.
At least they need to regain their energy from the food
Oo
that they
naman.
burned earlier, right?
Why
the
not?
plants, the burpees. At least they're energized once again for this race, for the longevity of this 3-hour endurance race, Rez.
Alam mo, no, when we were doing when we were eating the food, suddenly you'll feel bloated, but at the same time you won't even
You won't complain, right?
Exactly, because you're focused on, okay, I have to win this thing, I have to cheer for my teammate, I have to support my teammates. So I don't know if they can appreciate how good the cheesecakes are, but yeah, I mean, they have to go back to the race, right after this.
Dapat mabilis ka sa carbs, mabilis ka rin sa carbs.
You'll appreciate it after the race, no? Kasi di mo dadamin yung lasa, because you need to get back on the rig immediately. So maybe after the race, okay, I'll taste it once again and appreciate it.
Kahit gano'n kasarap yan, the sweetest taste is the taste of victory. Kaya at the end of the
Yes,
day,
that's true.
hindi yan sa pasarapan, sa pabilisan.
Yes.
So,
Kaya siguro sweet driver. Ano yun? Pag driver,
lover.
sweet driver. Ano ba yun? Pag driver ka, sweet lover.
Yeah. Basta driver, sweet lover. Parang pang jeep yun, ah.
okay. Parang pang-chuper yan.
Oy, but speaking of Jeep,
Yes.
we gave away jeepney Tamiya cars kanina. O yan,
Wow.
from Brickyard. So congratulations again to our female drivers,
Yes,
no? That won
congratulations.
sa all-women's grid. Naka-receive sila ng jeepney Tamiya.
Yes. And also, they're still competing, right? At this race?
Some of them, yes. We have May Gumila and Diana Blanco.
A very competitive rivalry earlier, right? The top 1 and top 2. Really enjoyable rivalry on the all-women's race. But looking at it, looks like someone's gonna gulp on those food right there. Drink some water, guys. We don't want to get you hospitalized for just choking.
Drink your water, B.
You think about choke points pagdating sa race, kapag masikip yung grid, pag magdikit yung mga kotse, ito yung bagong choke
Looks
point.
like
It only
commercial.
happens here at the endurance races ng 2026 AAP National Esports Championships. Yan ang choke point talaga pag hindi mo nalunod yung cookie.
Okay, who's
Okay.
going to be it?
So that's our Turon squad, Turon shop, no? Na katatapos lang ng kanilang challenge. And right now we have more teams nandoon ready to take their challenge as well. I
Yep.
think this is the SSR Carters. We see Marcos Lacabra and Diana as well, and Arkin. Sila naman ang magmumukbang. Ayan, hi!
Uy,
Uy, sarap naman ng kain naman ng ating Carters, no? But again,
Nagtuturoan na.
ayan,
Kaya
ayan.
may pasta.
Ayan.
You know, I think this is the first time that Arkin Rodriguez actually joined us for the endurance race. Again, this is one of the youngest drivers that we have so far in the league. And it's nice to see him personal, face to face, finally. And this guy right here is driving with the big boys in the official
Yes.
league of AAP. So you just know how good this driver, how good Arkin Rodriguez is, and he's even teamed up with a karting beauty here, which is of course Diana Blanco.
Yeah. I think they've got the potential for that rig number 5 because Diana Blanco placed really high on the women's race. But also, you've mentioned the Wonder Kid, Arkin, also deployed
Yeah.
on rig number 5. So at least we know that they will surely have a placement in this podium, possibly.
You know, if you guys witnessed the first endurance last year, Diana Blanco had a frustrating run. Kasi nag-spin siya eh. Nag-spin siya and
Na-damage yung car.
na-damage yung car. So she was a little sad about it. But it's okay kasi we can see her this time, you know, for the 2026 National Esports Championship Endurance Leg, doing absolutely great and even dominating races.
Is this a redemption for her?
Yes!
Oh, at saka alam mo, Marcos Alonso Lacambra is actually one of the Carters din. Kasama natin siya sa championship naman ng city karting, ng indoor karting na championships din. Siya naman yung marshal doon. Marshal siya doon sa event na yun, again with Sir GM of Drift Motor Speedway. So again, these are seasoned karters and it feels like hiyang sila sa Lotus, no? Hiyang sila sa Lotus natin.
nga eh.
Dahil karting, may karting tendency in terms of the turns.
Parang mas madami pa akong nakita nag-spin out with the Miata, considering the fact that this is a more challenging car, but
Yes.
you know, the driver seems to be handling it very well.
Maybe they've practiced well with this car. Yeah? The challenge is up. Knowing that they'll be competing here in the National Esports Championship, it must be the dedication, the effort, and also the blood and sweat they've managed to
Oh,
deploy in the practice, scrims, and even the solo when it comes to driving this Lotus Elise SC as the main car that we'll be using here in the National Esports Championship.
And don't look now, still NXT Racing running away with a huge lead. Followed by Veloce Ragazzi Team to Premier at 91 second differential. Tapos, P2 to P3 also more than 100 seconds as well. And ganun din yung space ng P3 to P4. It feels like NXT Racing, save for another unforeseen mishap, is gonna run away with this P1 position. Maganda yung kanilang na-build na space and gap with the rest of the teams. But again, when we're talking about spin-outs, we're talking about konting incidents this time. Di tayo sure eh. Baka naman sinave the best for last yung action natin. Maybe it's the amateurs that are gonna close it out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that because I'm pretty sure, you know, some of the teams here will definitely try to be aggressive, you know, to catch up with the time loss. But I'm just amazed at the fact that NXT Racing has been very, very strong right from the get-go here, keeping that P1. When it comes to defense, when it comes to defending that spot, they are doing a stellar performance. We've seen a lot of reshuffle happen. We've seen a lot of teams actually moving up ranks here, but NXT Racing is just so amazing. Oh, I'm dropping bars here. But yeah, I mean, they're doing great. And I don't think they have any plans of letting P1 go.
Yeah, that's if nothing's missing with NXT Racing, di ba? If they have it all on point, definitely we're gonna run away with P1 dito. Beauty of being P1 is having all that space right in front of you, not having to tail after someone else's aerodynamics, yung sasabi nga dirty air when someone else is ahead of you. But also, ang challenge dyan actually is how to maintain the pace when you know you're in the
Yeah.
lead. Sometimes there are people who have that killer instinct when they are trailing, but when they're on top, nagre-relax. So again, meron pa tayong 1 full hour and 10 minutes for things to be determined dito sa ating race.
Almost 2 hours had already passed? Imagine
Almost 2
that.
hours on the way
Imagine
there.
that. Sobrang tutok ko sa mga players natin dito or sa mga drivers natin dito. And again, looking at the status, Veloce Regazo still at P2, but I'm not sure if they went for a break, a pit stop. I don't think hindi pa nila fully na ma-maximize yung 45 minutes perhaps, or maybe they've already, gone beyond 45 minutes. We still don't know. And again, we still have to review every team that actually raced for today if there will be any penalties. Because this is not, of course, the official or the final ranking for the teams even after the race. Kasi nga, we've had quite a number of incidents that happened kanina, and there was even like someone bumping another car here causing a spin out. So there's definitely gonna be a consequence to be dealt with.
Definitely. Again, when you look at where we are at, yung energy ng mga teams right now, medyo racy yung skill level, di ba? When you're fielding in your pro, when you're fielding in your pro-am, you have very different expectations and compared to when you're fielding in an amateur, or if your woman racer is kind of new to this. So all those things you have to compensate for. If you're gonna field in another driver, kung pababalikin mo yung pro driver mo in the tail end to catch you up. Again, best lap still belongs to NXT Racing with 2:33.86. So, yan ang root cause kung bakit they're in the lead. But again, if you look at the ranking, SSR OG and Upfront Racing are the other teams with the 2:30 pace. It only means na in terms of kung sino yung best driver sa team, it doesn't really dictate who's the best in terms of ending the race as a team.
Ito yung pwede nating sabihin, Coach, na calculated risk talaga considering when to fuel up, when to pit, when to change the tires, like who will be the next driver for the team here. All I can say, judging from the position here, MSAE Racing team still hasn't found the time to recover, no? They're still at the bottom here. SSROG as well. They have been going down. It's also a struggle for them to actually move up ranks here. But then again, this is not the final result just yet.
Yeah, I'm interested talaga kung sino yung possibly makakalapit sa ating leaderboard. If you look at it, iba-ibang strategy, sobrang malayo. And if you're seeing, yun nga, when you only see cars close to each other when it's back markers at this point. Walang magkadikit. Wala pa. But all that might change if some of our other teams that haven't pitted will pit. We've seen it play out. Sobrang layo ng gaps. And then the next thing we know,
Oh!
that was an oversteer right there, I think, for MSE Racing team. Again, maybe one of the reasons why they're kind of losing ground right now. But again, an hour is a lot of time for things to happen or not happen. Diba? For your team.
Alam mo, nakakakaba, coach. Let's say, for example, you're part of the team, tapos ikaw yung part ng amateur class. Parang, whoa. Parang sige,
pressure is on.
the pressure is on, definitely. Imagine, like, the team is really gonna lean sa iyo and really gonna expect that, you know, you do something great for the team and maintain that consistency when it comes to driving. So I do understand, you know, there's a little bit of pressure, you know, for amateur drivers here to compete with drivers who are far more experienced inside the track. Again, for MSAE, they're still at the bottom here, so I'm curious if there's still anything, you know, better coming for their team. So far on screen, we can see maybe first aid being applied to May Gumila here. It's a little bit humid, you know, inside Korsa Pitstop Cafe. So there's a really need for you guys to hydrate if you are with us
Drink your
on
water,
site.
guys.
Yep, drink your water, B.
But I'm really curious on what will happen here on to the P2, P3, and P4 because the lead that they have established against each other is more than 90 seconds, I guess. So I think NXT Racing just maintains their lead and already slowly declaring themselves as the podium finisher as we approach the last hour for this race, right? So I think this is a statement for NXT Racing that we will be finishing this as top spots.
You know what? Out there in the real world, guys, the Lotus Elise has absolutely zero power steering. Did you guys know that? It's a direct mechanical link, you know, from the front tires to the driver's hand. So if you guys are familiar with this car, I'm pretty sure you will agree with me. In high-end direct drive racing sims, this means the force feedback is incredibly communicative, but exhausting. So the drivers will feel every single bump, curb, and loss of grip directly in their wrist. So over a long multi-race broadcast, you can feel, or the drivers will definitely feel fatigue. So that is going to be also one of the factors here in the endurance race. Masakit siya sa arms.
Yes, and even on the wrist, the strain on your wrist when you maneuver the drive wheel as well. So maybe talagang hindi biro yung sim racing because parang nag-exercise ka na rin on the pedals, on the steering wheel. Talagang hindi natin masasabi na sobrang nakakapagod but still, it's kinda tiring pa rin at the end.
Oh yeah, that is true. And just to give you guys an idea, because we've been saying that the Lotus Elise, this is a nimble car, you know, it's very lightweight. It only weighs a total of 870 kilograms. So that's like equivalent to 1,918 pounds. So it's lighter than a modern Mazda Miata. So that's actually the angle that we have been explaining to our viewers here, that, you know, when it comes to those tight turns, when it comes to those corners, it's lightweight, like it's agile. So I think, you know, it's really like the best car to have. It's known for that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to straight track here, a straight road, power is a little off.
Yeah. It's less horsepower deployed for this Lotus Elise SC. And knowing that this is a car designed to be used in corners, we can also see that the drivers are utilizing it in this race. But now there are some of the cars almost approaching each other here in the P7 and P8 position, I guess, or rather P8 and P9. Wait, that's P8 and P7, I guess.
Oh yeah. But also, Veloce Regazo choosing to pit. The question is, will Upfront Racing be able to capitalize? Will they slice off a huge chunk from that lead? Again, we have choices to be made. We have races to be run. And right now, we are enjoying your company. Thank you for keeping track with us on track here at Korsa Pitstop Cafe. Again, MSAE Racing team, I'm really rooting for them to find their groove. Hoping that they did reverse in terms of the skill level for drivers. But right now, it's a huge lead that they would have to make up no, dito sa ating NXT Racing team. NXT Racing still pulling away from the rest of the pack, especially with Veloce Regazo in the pits right now. Not a lot of windows of opportunity for other teams, but we are seeing yung isang team natin dito na nag-pit na, I think it's Veloce, if I'm not mistaken, na nakikita natin. Ayan, masarap yung ngiti kapag medyo feeling ko, medyo podium secured sila for now as they are enjoying their pits.
Coach, you did mention that this car is actually the closest to karting, right? So just to explain to our viewers, especially those that are not really, let's say, associated yet, when it comes to sim racing, let's do a little science here, explaining the
Like a
car.
fun fact.
Fun fact, okay?
Yeah.
Since we are all learning here together. So again, for this car, I guess the core narrative hook for this car revolves around its mid-engine. It's a rear-wheel drive layout. Heavy engine block sitting directly behind the driver's lower back. We've already mentioned this a while ago. So this car actually possesses a very low polar moment of inertia. So it turns instantly like a go-kart. However, and this is it, guys, this introduces the deadly phenomenon of lift-off oversteer. So again, it's very prone, this car is very prone to spin outs.
Ooh, so that's the reason why we saw an early spin out, just like what it was bumped from the behind, and then it easily spun off track. But still, the drivers was able to recover because it's lightweight, I guess. That's with an easy recovery for the teams. But now
Yeah, kaya
looks
nga
like
dapat
the
sensitive.
pit has been deployed and they're going for the challenge. Is this the hot choco? Oh my god. Is it going to be scalding hot, guys? Oh, there's the transfer. Oh, they're sharing.
Oh man, sige, stop all of the sugar inside your mouth. Sana wag lang silang mag-sugar crash mamaya.
A bit of energy for our drivers later on, guys.
Yeah, we talk about kasi bring up niyo yung weight transfer. No? Again, we talk about lifting off. Is when kapag a car is only you can only take control of a car when all wheels have grip.
Four-wheel drives.
When you have all the rubber on the asphalt, then you're good. You have control, you have traction. But also, sim rigs, especially here in Korsa Pitstop Cafe, you should be sensitive in terms of the force feedback. Do you feel that your car is lifting off the ground when you're approaching it? Kasi yung mga sudden deceleration, think of it like para kang nagtutulak ng wheelbarrow. Parang dalawa lang yung gulong niya eh. Ganun kasi possible na mangyari kapag hindi tama yung tipla mo ng deceleration mo when you brake in your turns.
Oh my gosh, look at that, guys. We are down to our final 58 minutes here for round 1 endurance. And I haven't seen NXT Racing leave that P1 position.
Never been dethroned, guys. Never been replaced. Maybe on the early stages of the game, right? On the race. But now, looks like they're establishing, they're cementing their lead, and looks like they're claiming the number 1 podium finish at this point if they consistently prove and move like a ballistic missile in this race.
Kala ko sasabihin mo move like Jagger. But okay, so Veloce Regazo went for the pit stop. Ooh, okay,
Very
here
cute. The
direct
very demure.
direct, you're making me question kung ano bang pinapakita mo ngayon sa screen, direct Colex.
And hi then kay Sir JC, of course, of AAP.
Oh yeah.
AAP, thank you for supporting this initiative. Thank you for the huge boost na binibigay nyo sa discipline natin.
Whoa.
Looks like they're battling each other, guys.
Don't worry, this is the back markers. The back markers have
yes,
to give
yes,
way
yes.
to our, ahead of them.
Yun nga, so Veloce Regazo kanina went for the pit, so that paved the way for Affront
Yeah.
Racing to take P2. We've got the Speedy Bakers consistently at P4. Verdes Arcus at P5, but man, MSAE Racing team, I'm still waiting for them to pick up the pace here.
Looks like they were not able to get up from the quicksand earlier because of that one pit. And SSROG, the one we've routed earlier because of the place that they've established as P1, has been already falling off onto the P7 spot. And that is not good news, knowing that they'll be in the latter spot in this race. But let's look at our casters. Yes, let's go, guys. But NXT Racing still
Kailangan ganun yung B-roll,
up
eh, seryoso tayo.
in this race.
Ayan. Seryoso kami sa B-roll, di ba? Nag-enjoy talaga yung ating mga directors sa ating PTZ cameras. Again, shout out to our partner Canon for empowering our technical director and the team. Wala tayo roving camera like before, but we don't need one when we have the Canon 350 and the Canon N400 for our PTZ cameras. Okay?
Yung isang team nga na inaabangan ko talaga. And looking at Scuderia GR Esports team dito, they already won this challenge before they got awarded. They received an award from AAP, from this race. But alam mo, hindi ko pa sila nakita na nag-climb up at least, from P1 to P5.
Yeah. I think medyo may learning curve pa in terms of the rest of the team. Again, they carry the name, but it's not exactly the same team every time na finifield. So maybe most of the drivers are a little stronger on the speed, less on the agility and control on the turns. That could also mean mas careful sila when approaching the turns that we have. SSROG seems to have a little bit of a problem, no? Is that SSROG? Yes, SSROG. Medyo nag-pause siya to regain control. Yun yung sinasabi natin. When you feel the lift off and you are driving, if you have space, it's okay. You can just take a pause, regain your balance, and then join the race again. But buti na lang nangyari yung ganun. Kung nawala kang kasunod or sinusundan na kotse, so there's not a lot of friction or incidents that may happen.
And again, we're down to our final 54 minutes here. I believe almost everyone is complete.
Yes.
Has completed all of the challenges
yes.
na, no? Yes, I think the drivers are now down to their last one na rin.
Last two.
Maybe last two, yes.
Last two drivers possibly kasi
54 pa kasi,
yes.
yes.
Tayo na 45 eh. So, but then again, depende sa strategy. Baka naman merong kasi very early 10 minutes into it, may mga nag-bet eh.
Yeah, there was an undercut.
So,
no doubt.
Doing the math on off the top of my head, it means merong possibility that there's 2, maybe even 3 drivers still on a 54-minute mark. But right now, NXT Racing is in the pits, enjoying a leisurely visit sa ating challenge section, while the rest of the grid tries to play catch up and shave off yung kanilang lead from the rest of the pack.
Okay, NXT Racing finally went to the pit stop. And I'm not even sure if this is going to affect their overall position. Kasi up until now, wala pa akong nakikitang teams that are they're getting close even to their time. I think chill lang sila and eating all of those cheesecakes and all of those matchas and the pesto pasta here. They're not even bothered at all. I mean, considering the lead, right? Considering the lead that they have, they're really chill about this.
Because I also saw that the following team behind them is behind by 1 lap. I'm not sure. So I guess they can take their time, drinking their hot chocos, eating those pastas. So I think, that big bite from Gomila. You saw it from your screen.
Oh, look at that!
Chunking this pasta, drinking that scalding hot choco. Wow.
Oh, wow. Come on.
What a strategy, guys.
Let the girl finish.
Let him eat. Let him cook. You saw that nibble on that pasta. 4 pieces of elbow pasta with just 1 bite for Gomila.
Grabe.
Is she
Talagang
hungry?
I think so.
hungry for victory, di ba? Syempre. And also, yeah, that's what we see here, di ba? Everyone just really stepping up, making sure that they're giving their teams the best shot to finish, the best shot to win and secure that top place in the podium that we have. Again, a very exciting evening altogether. We did have a little bit of a challenge sa ating teams, no? But NXT right now, parang ang bilis din nila sa pit. Paano naman sila hahabulin eh? Chance mo na nga daw catch up, pero mukhang wala lang, ganun lang. Tapos nakakapit lang nila and they're done with their food and now headed over back to the sim ring.
Medyo nakakabigla kasi yung yung big white ni Gumila kanina, no? May buwelo pang kasama. And also, that hot chocolate was gone in an instant. I don't know how they did it. It's really hot, guys. If you order a hot chocolate here at Korsa Cafe, for sure it's scalding hot. And there you have it, guys. A quick look at our prod team. And we're back at it. And NXT Racing, I think they've finished that pit stop already, but still upfront racing, trailing behind by at least a minute. In this one, oh my, how will you catch up to the NXT Racing if they continue this pace and their performance on the pit stop?
Yeah, it's gonna be quite challenging, to even get close to NXT Racing at this point. I mean, you already said it a while ago. I think this is already beginning, for NXT Racing to solidify their position at P1. So maybe we are just waiting, for teams who will finish at P2 and P3.
Yeah.
And so far, Upfront Racing has been like a steady team, at P2. Same thing goes for Veloce Ragazzo. I mean, we've seen them actually go to the pits very recently, but they're still holding on to that P3 position. Same thing goes for Speedy Bakers. I mean, it's been a long time, they're not letting go of P4 position with Virtus Arcos as well. At this point, we're almost close to wrapping things up here. So far, baka mamaya, ito na nga, NXT Racing na talaga ang mag-podium,
Yes.
no?
Their performance is really solid, guys, for NXT Racing.
Okay. Again, SSROG sadly falling behind. No, P8 na tayo. There's a point they were catching up to P6, but right now dropping back to P8. No, not a good turn of events just yet for SSROG. Huge question kasi the SSR Carter seems to be doing better, doing well, no? And the Speedy Bakers still within striking distance for P3. So yun ang pinaabangan natin. But right now, we have a clear dogfight between the SSR Carters again against Virtus Arcos. Talagang naghahabulan tong dalawang green cars natin sa ating race.
Alam mo, medyo hindi ako sanay na nakikita ko yung SSR at the bottom of the ranks here, yung
You're leading
OG.
earlier, guys.
But, let's give a big shout out to our sim racing OG, Nino Gonzalez, Vernon Ablir, Patrick Lopez, and Christine Mirel Bongkawil. Pero alam mo, Patrick Lopez as well as Vernon Ablir, these are familiar names in the league. Yeah, I mean, they know what they're doing. It's kumbaga parang there's a reason why they are part of SSR, and this is one of the prominent names in the community, yung SSR clan or SSR organization.
But looking at it, the speed, SSR Carter's already overtaken the Virtus Arcos at this pace of this race now. So Virtus Arcos, I think they're falling off already, knowing that the SSS Carters are already on their E-game, trying to go for a chase against the Speedy Bakers. And we want to give a huge shout out to the SSR Carters, in which Alonso Lacambra, Odric Fernando, Arkin Rodriguez, the Wonder Kid, and Diana Blanco, which was the driver earlier on the all-women's race as well. So big performance for them, but still I don't know how they will fare to manage to reach NXT Racing at this very top of the leaderboards and standings.
Be fast or be last.
Yes.
That's it.
But, when it comes to strategy, one key thing, now that we're approaching close to the 45th minute, ng last 45 minutes na ating race, the question is, are they fielding in last drivers? Or may dalawa pang challenges coming? As we know, the challenges are gonna cause a huge shift and shuffle sa ating grids. And right now, we're looking at the MSAE or the REUPLOAD team doing their challenge show. Ito po, yung hindi pa natin nakita actually. Kasi we've seen them eat, we've seen them burpees and drink. This is the third type of challenge that we have today. And last time mas mahirap, di ba, Red? Yung na-experience ni Red, yung last time na ganito, meron talagang actual na wheel na buhat-buhat eh. Pero ngayon, medyo we decided to go light, a little of ab workout lang yung pinapakita sa atin ng mga drivers natin.
I remember clenching my butt when I was doing that challenge.
Di ba abs?
Was it
Stretching
traumatic?
No, tabs is what. But yeah, I mean, this is not like an easy thing to do. But the drivers are really exerting a lot of effort here to make sure that they maintain their position. We also have another team going through a challenge here. Ayan. I think they're going through cheesecakes naman dito, and also the pasta and the Purius. But okay, I think they are just signing off, checking with the stewards and the marshals if they are now allowed to get back on track.
Yes, I think MSAE needs to at least do something because they're really on the behind at this point. They're already on P9 and they've got a huge gap to catch on if they want at least a place on P8, P7 on this race. But on the other hand, another team is doing their cheesecake challenge. I don't know what team is it. Well, I don't know. Later on, we'll check on them because I think they've finished drinking their water, maybe.
Ang gusto ko sabihin siguro in terms of MSAE, you said be fast or be last. No? But sometimes the first will be the last in terms of first time kasi sila sumali. Diba? They're a very new team. They experienced sim racing when there was an event in the school. May Auto Principi 6 University Car Show. And then because of that, they invited Sim 2 Premier. Sim 2 Premier was able to bring a rig there, have the students experience it. And after experiencing that rig, they said, tara, build tayo ng team. And that's what MSAE showed sa atin. And just by being here, being a competitor in the National Esports Championship really says a lot about how they were encouraged by Sim2 Premier dun sa one-time event na yun. And now, they are progressing. If hindi man maganda yung first time na nag-try, okay lang yun. Kasi
Okay lang yun.
there's still a few more routes. Again, you can check out the calendar of activities we have. If you want to join online or on-site for our next endurance race, please do so. So follow the socials ng AAP Esports and Dominado E-Motorsports Rally, as well as our media partners, Motoring Today, Nurtured, and some of the other partners in pushing the growth for E-Motorsports.
We haven't reached the end of the race just yet, so maybe MSAE Racing will surprise us later on. But would like to give a big shout out, of course, to the members: Joseph Mapolon, Eldridge Ransvalle, Adrian James Sanchez, Mishka Mendoza, and Azelia Ragidin. Again, this is the first time for a Mapua team joining us for the AAP endurance leg. And yes, the more XP that you get, the more that you will improve.
Yes, indeed. It was always not about winning at first, right? It's more of getting the knowledge, getting some experience points, forming that aura from the crowd as well. So I think they need to at least use this defeat, if ever, and in improving their driving skills in this track of Silverstone. But moving on into the challenge for this team of the carb loading. I think they're almost done with that cheesecake and drink, but this will be surely something that they need in order to get that energy back up on for this race.
Parang kailangan din natin ng energy. Wala bang magpapadala ng cheesecake dyan?
Okay lang naman kami dito. But speaking of okay lang, Speedy Bakers, usapang cheesecake, yung mga bakers nasa P3 na guys. P3 for Speedy Bakers catching up. And the SSR Carters at the P4. Again, these are the decisions, these are the consequences instead of the decisions that were made in terms of the circulation of drivers, the swaps, the turns that are making. So, ang tanong, will they be able to build up a lead once they pit the last driver? We are at the 41-minute mark. So, ibig sabihin lang yan, there may be some teams here that are driving with their last driver.
Yes. Oh! Wait, what?
Cinema.
What is going on? Ba't nagkakasubuan?
Bakit ganun?
Parang nakasubo si Direk doon. Direk, ano yan, Direk?
Bakit kayo lang, ha? Bakit kayo lang?
Okay. No. Just
Getting
production.
upset, guys.
Production team just having fun, back end. But getting back to the throttle action here happening at the endurance race. Okay, we just have to give props then to Veloce Ragazzo.
Yes,
right?
and part 2, another one.
Okay, talaga naman si Harvey ang sweet guy talaga natin dyan. Medyo ang daming nagmamahal kay Derek Collix,
Ang
ha?
daming nagsusubo, ha? Sana all.
Parang masarap pala buhay ni Direk dito, Pansin ko lang,
May gusto ko i-joke pero sige, next time na lang, guys. Pero,
That's why you have to follow our socials para update kayo sa mga susunod na kabanata.
okay. Getting back to what you mentioned, Coach, some of the teams here definitely driving, with their last one. Baka hanggang dulo na to.
Yes.
So, probably, do you think, ang NXT, Ragazzo, tsaka Speedy Bakers, do you think that these guys are down to their last driver?
I'm not really sure, no? If we had a tracker for the pit stops, we would know. But one thing is clear, those who have hidden aces, ito na yung right time para ilabas yan. If they are really banking on one driver to finish strong, then those teams that are doing so, malalaman natin with how it's gonna be shuffling dito sa ating race. Again, we've only seen, I think, one team do the app steering challenge. So it means there's quite a few that still has to swap out their drivers. But the thing is, sino yung last driver? Is it a pro? Is it a woman? Is it a pro-am? Or is it your best driver, your pro?
Oh man, so many questions. And again, that is the strategy of the teams. That's how complicated endurance is. It's not easy. It's not just cars going around in circles here. There is a strategy involved. Again, if you just tuned in and listening to us at the moment, there's tire management, there's fuel management, there's driver management, and food management.
Carbo loading.
Hunger management.
Yeah.
Kasi hindi anger management.
Yes. Tama ka dyan, Coach. Abbyism for you, ladies and gents. Vinitus Arcus coming from the pit kanina, currently now at P8. Do you think our Lasallians can come back on top here, Coach? Do you think?
Lasal, yan ang malalaman natin, no? Kung sino yung last driver nila. Because we've seen them compete at the top of the pack.
Up.
But then suddenly, they're starting itong last 30 or so minutes natin sa bottom ng pack. But there's still a lot of time to show us what they're made of. Sino yung last driver, anong klaseng impact yung mangyayari, and will NXT Racing just really run away with this?
Medyo nakakilig yung labanan dito sa Scuderia and the SSROG because the deficit is only at less than 4 seconds. And knowing na within striking distances kasi yung SSROG, you know that they might be able to at least overtake the Scuderia GR Esports in the P6 position. But I'm really curious on how the P2s and the P3s are going to at least catch up to NXT Racing because Veloce Regazo trailing by at least a lap against NXT Racing. That's quite far and
Yeah.
beyond more than 100 seconds into this race.
Yes, but again, I do have an inkling that the SSROG team saved their best for last. Because if you really look at the pace that he's setting right now, trying to chase after Scuderia, that's a really good indicator that they might have chosen to send a stronger driver to finish his race. But again, all we can do right now is speculate while we see the grid just really play out. No, we're seeing all the numbers on screen. That's the story that we have, but very limited tayo in terms of delving into the strategies that they have. So Marcus is right now driving for the SR Carters, and they're actually doing really well, no, for this race. If I'm not mistaken, so again, this is the Diana Blanco's team. No? They did encounter a lot of challenges the last time that they raced with us sa endurance, having car trouble and everything like that. But right now, they're at P4. And they still have a chance to maybe even finish at the podium, depending on the race strategy of those ahead of them.
Also, there was a push that happened moments ago. Scuderia again moving down P6. So up front racing, doing incredible time, I guess, getting that P5.
And that's great, no? Kasi napag-usapan natin na they did perform really well last year. But again, we can't really compare apples to oranges in terms of that because last year they did compete only in the amateur grid. But right now, because of the mixed teams that we have, it doesn't, medyo we see, medyo parang sentimented yung ating mga teams, no? May mga naghalo-halo, nag-crossover from one team to another, making sure na there's a huge chance na merong huge probability na even out yung skills natin right now. Oops, Speedy Baker is spitting. So, will this open up the door for SSR Carters? Wow. Okay. The
Hindi ba
podium is
to-
still up for grabs, ha?
Parang kinakabahan ako sa strat na to. Yes, coach, you're right. I mean, Speedy Baker's going for pit at the moment. This will definitely pave the way for a front, no,
Yeah.
to move up. So, that's a bit risky for
Let's
me. Let's see if they can maintain
Or-
P3.
Or maybe this will be seize the moment for Speedy Bakers later on, or rather SSR Carters. At least for this one, guys, you're seeing the steering wheel 1 minute. I think 1 minute steering wheel challenge again, and this
Toron
will
shot, eh.
make sure their abs will kinda be painful as they race later on.
Ayan yung they're imitating the turon that they really love as a team. Yan yung feeling ng saba sa loob ng turon. Habang iniikot-ikot ka sa mantika, no? Or iniikot-ikot ka sa asukal bago ka ikot-ikotin sa mantika.
Ganyan pala yung
Look
pakiramdam
at the
ng turon.
focus. Huwag kang bibigay. Huwag kang bibitaw, Robin. Kaya mo yan. Kaya mo yan. This is Sparta. This is Sparta. Come on. You can do it. You can do
Laban,
it.
Robin! Oh!
Hold on to it. Hold on to it. You don't
Robin.
want to leave time. Oh no!
Laban,
oh, no.
Robin!
Laban.
Is he going to do it again?
It's time to be a Batman.
Oh no!
You know, since we're down to our final maybe 30 minutes more or less, right? I feel like fatigue is already trying to set
Yeah,
in.
you can
know,
see-
it's creeping in.
Even look at Robin Tan. He's struggling to raise his foot for this one, right? You can totally see that their movements are really slouches.
Oh no! Oh no!
Robin, can you do it,
Oh
Robin?
no!
Robin!
Oh
Please.
man, this
Please,
is
Robin!
no.
There's pain in his eyes. We can feel it. We can hear
Just
it. The
scream, Robin.
groans.
Just
the
scream.
screams. You can do it. You can
Oh
do it.
man, he's struggling, man. I think it's gonna bow down to this one. Oh, come on, Robin, you can do it. You can do it, Robin. Come on, let's go, Robin. We're cheering for you, man. I mean,
Everyone cheer for Robin.
you came this close, Robin. Let's go. Let's go. hard, and I just love the fact that everyone, the crowd, even his competitors, are cheering for him to finish up this challenge because they know how hard it is.
The fatigue, the pressure, the
Yeah.
oh God, it all is now showing off to our racers and drivers.
Amazing stuff. Everything is absolute cinema captured by Canon. Okay, right now, thank you for joining us again. This is an awesome evening. We are spending it with this growing community of sim racers, sim enthusiasts, our friends, family, and everyone who supports our drivers. Thank you for being part of this ecosystem that we're trying to build together. Again, NXT Racing still on top. Are usually still protected, no, from anyone who dares to be the next one. But SSR Carters right now in the pit, we are seeing, since the Scuderia team has dropped down to P6, will it be the SSR Carters or Upfront Racing with P3 and P4, or will SSR OG again have a resurgence and take over?
Okay, we can see a back and forth situation between Scuderia and there's another Speedy Bakers ba yun? Speedy Bakers, no? Pero honestly, just based on the performance kanina ni Robin Tan, going through the challenge and nag-reset siya, it's definitely gonna take a toll
Yes.
on Speedy Bakers. But it's a good thing kasi I think they've managed naman to gain a little bit
Yeah.
of a lead, compared to the other competitors here. But then again, will it be enough? That is the question.
Yes.
Kasi there is a team that is going for their position, and because of what happened, there's a possibility that they can be taken out.
Oh, they
Of
can
the
be
lead.
replaced.
They can be
dethroned
replaced.
of that position or place. But looking at it, guys, this is going to be the team of the Wonder Kid, and I think Arkin also struggling for this one-man steering wheel. Okay, he's shaking, guys. He's shaking. Getting to it. Looks like
Need
the
a reset.
fatigue and the mental prowess of this team. They need to do it side by side. Use the power of friendship, guys. You can do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Team effort.
Yes,
Team
Arkin,
effort.
prove us wrong. You
Yes,
can do this, guys.
And again, well, a huge part of karting is actually core muscles.
Yes,
no?
core muscles.
But again, this is not something you do every day, or you're able to challenge and do every day. No? And just chill lang
Arkin,
tayo. But
can you
again,
do it,
it's about
Arkin?
finding your balance for all our drivers right now competing. Such a huge
Oh
challenge.
no,
Go,
Arkin!
Arkin!
Oh no! Oh no! He's gonna reset!
Oh
They're
my
gonna have to do
God.
it all over again, and it's
Yes.
definitely gonna be affecting their time, which they're
is-
gonna be pushed down the ranks. And this is not what you want to happen now that we are about to wrap things up for the endurance race.
I think this challenge has been put in a very nice spot because this is for the players taking the toll, for the fatigue, for the focus, for this endurance race. We all know that all of the drivers are now tired of the focus and everything, but now look at Arkin struggling for this 1-minute steering wheel challenge. I don't know if they still won't be able to finish this task or challenge. For sure, they will be dethroned of their place here at the standings.
Yeah, but also, of course, we're concerned with the health of our drivers, so we're not gonna force the issue. In case they cannot complete the challenge, there will be penalties, depending on
Arkin.
the performance in the challenges. But it's up to the marshals to do the call and adjustments in terms of our final results. Okay, well, maybe we can see more of the race instead. Let's see more of the race.
Look alive,
So
people.
we can see how it plays out.
Look alive, people! Look alive! Okay, we still got, Arkin here and the rest of the crew going through the challenge here together with Diana Blanco. So far, you can see that the drivers are a little bit struggling. Again, this is a combination of physical, mental, and emotional, factors here. So it's already getting, interesting. 27 minutes last 27 minutes
Yes.
for this race, Boss Xiao. So things definitely are heating up.
For sure. And looking at this, SSR Carter's already at the pit. Still not yet finished at this point. This might be the opportunity for Viridis Arcos to at least take the advantage for taking so long into the pit. But now SSR OG also going into the pit. But still, Veloce Regazo and Upfront Racing still too far from the NXT Racing. So probably this might be a possible P1, P2, and P3. Do you think?
Maybe. We still got 26 minutes here, so we're definitely going to be giving a chance to the teams and the drivers here to catch up, to anyone who they want to catch up to. SSR OG, okay, they managed to get to P4. Even Scuderia moved up ranks here, but they have to go to the pit. I do wonder if this is the last pit that they need to do.
Will this be a backfire or will be a double-edged sword for them? Because maybe they're reserving their last pro driver for this last few minutes. But I don't think they will use that strategy because it's kind of risky. And looking at this current position for them, that's only the Hail Mary they can do for at least to gain a spot into a higher spot here in the standings.
So yeah, we have multiple teams right now doing the pit challenge, and again, I think it's safe to assume that this will be the final challenge or the final drivers for them. I'm looking at the lineup of the drivers that are left to join the grid, for these respective teams. I believe this is SSR OG as well as the Scuderia team that we're seeing Gabriel Dancin right there. I'm not sure if he's taken his turn in the wheel or if it's Frederic Agustin is going to finish off the remaining 30 minutes of our race. But again, this is not an isolated case. We have drivers struggling to complete the challenge, which also means they would have to reset if they do not finish the challenges. So again, a huge hurdle right now is being able to complete the challenge, stick to it, and make up for lost time.
Oh man. Viridis Arcos now at P8 here. This is gonna be
They've
tough.
fallen so low.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just have to wait up until we conclude, all of the points here. Is there a chance for Viridis Arcos to improve their overall status? That is still a big question mark here because we still have to go through the penalties later on. But for NXT Racing, I don't think I can say anymore, about NXT Racing. Pretty much right from the get-go, they have been pretty strong, and they're holding on to that P1 like their lives depend on it. And I don't think any team can take that away from them. Veloce Regazo was able to get back to P2. We got Upfront Racing now holding on to P3, and that was because, Speedy Bakers actually went to their last pit stop. But can Speedy Bakers make up for the lost time? If you guys just tuned in, Speedy Bakers kanina, they had to do the challenge twice.
Yes, indeed. That long time onto the pit will be costly for the Speedy Bakers, but let's take note that Veloce Regazo and Upfront still needs to deploy their last drivers out here and needs to go to the pit. They have no other choice, but still we can only say that NXT Racing already performing really well at this race. Nobody can catch up to their performance, to their perfect lapses, and also looking at the SSR Carters and SSR OG, they are really close to each other with just less than 2 seconds of a deficit from SSR OG against the Carters.
So it's gonna be an SSR battle right now. SSR Carters defending more than a second of a lead against the SSR OG. SSR OG approaching each turn with careful precision. They were one of the most probable teams to win it with their best qualifying time, but right now it's not looking that way. As we are looking at the grid, there's a huge space in front of them, but they're gonna have to take it one car at a time. And right now, the car that's in front of them is a sister team, the SSR Carters, and right behind them we have Viridis Arcos from De La Salle University trying to make sure that this is a three-way wheel-to-wheel challenge as we head on over to the last 22 minutes of the race.
Okay, this is not just about the endurance driving. This is also about endurance casting, guys. So
Yes.
big props, to my co-casters here. We got Boss Shao and Coach Abby doing an amazing job so far, delivering you guys all of the hype and the action happening inside the track. Now getting back to the throttle action, SSR OG now currently at P6 and we're already done. We're already down to our last 21 minutes. And again, big shout out, of course, to our AAP. This is, again, the National Esports Championship Endurance Leg 2026.
Yep, and it really is a battle of endurance for all of the drivers back here, from the focus into the track, and it also into the focus on the challenges, specifically the physical ones, guys. You witnessed the tired people doing the exercises, getting themselves carbo loaded, also eating the snacks, drinking some water. You know what happened really here only in Korsa Pitstop Cafe. You also saw the extravagant performance deployed by NXT Racing. So far, they are not defeated or being dethroned by any drivers or any teams back here in the endurance race at the Silverstone track.
Again, Korsa Pitstop Cafe is proving to be the battlegrounds for our teams right now. And still, there's nothing official in terms of our ranking. There's still a little bit of a window of opportunity for our drivers for the remaining 20 minutes of our race right now. We are not sure how things will play out, if there are any adjustments, if there are any penalties incurred, adjustments in terms of the challenges that we have done with the driver races. Then we will see once we announce on the official pages. But by the way, guys, again, this is just round one. We still have 2 more rounds, all for our rally day, our circuit day, and our endurance races as well. So if you do have friends who are interested to be part of the 2026 AAP National Esports Championship, please make sure that you follow the pages of AAP Esports, Dominado, E-Motorsports Rally, and all our media partners as well, to be posted and find out how you can be part of this growing community of sim racers.
Today AAP just gave away 10 free 1-year membership, to be part of the esports. Part of the National Esports Championship. And if you are a member of AAP Esports, you get to, of course, enjoy iRacing for free. That's just one of the many perks. That's why, just like what we said, don't forget to follow them on their social media platforms to not miss out on anything good happening in the racing community.
You can also compete, guys, if you're subscribed for the AAP. You may join out all of the events that they will be giving away. Also, knowing that there are other events scheduled by AAP, and there are so many other circuit legs that we have, like the rally, the circuit, and even here the endurance ones.
Oh yeah,
it's a diverse. Whenever you're not excelling in endurance, maybe you can try something like circuit or the rally ones. Maybe that's something you will enjoy and will excel on it. So going back at the Silverstone endurance race, at this point, guys, NXT still undefeated, followed by Veloce Regazzo, trailing by 1 lap against NXT, as up front is on P3, leading still, but on a gap against Veloce Regazzo by more than 100 seconds, followed by Speedy Bakers on P4 with also 100 seconds of a deficit against upfront. That's really something that is hard to catch up. But on to the P5 and P6, I think it's just a close match. SSR Carters and SSR OG all over themselves, the sister companies, I think. Yep. And also the P7 Verde Arcos, also close by with SSR OG. But Verde Arcos following them will be the Scuderia GR Esports by more than 50 seconds. And last but not least is the Mapua MRAE Racing Team, which is behind by 5 laps. So that's the current recap for our round 1 endurance for the last almost less than 17 minutes into this race.
Yes, sir. And you know what? Hindi ko talaga bibitawan eh. Naninibago talaga ako sa performance ng Scuderia. For today's endurance. This is just round 1 though. There's still another 2 rounds happening in the next few months. So that's another chance, for Scuderia to reclaim their rep, in the endurance league. But we're definitely gonna be talking to them, ask them, okay, what happened?
Yeah.
What was the
Curious.
strategy? What was there any miscommunications that
What went
happened?
wrong, right? Because we don't
Yes.
see this type of teams on the lower part of the standings, right? Because you recently mentioned that they placed well and has been awarded as the amateur team by
Yes.
AAP. So knowing that they have the championship belt in their name, it's rare to see this kind of performance from that type of team, right?
But again, this remaining 15 minutes that we have, there may be a little bit more of a challenge in terms of our P5 to P7 with the SR partners, SROG and with this Arcus. But it seems like everything else is locked in for our grid right now. NXT Racing really showing their prowess, leading the pack significantly, and now Veloce Regasso still has to pit. Now, will this be enough time for Upfront to really stage a comeback and grab P2 away from them? Or will this also be an opportunity for the Speedy Bakers to... Okay, no.
Who's that?
That's really this Arcus, I believe.
No,
no,
it's SSR.
It's the
SSR
Carters.
OG?
The SSR Carters that
Yeah.
spun out. Oh no, they were doing so well.
What happened back there?
Again, an incident happened and now they are at P7.
Oh
That's
no.
painful.
Actually, when it comes to having a mistake driving a Lotus Elise, it cannot recover from mistakes easily. Kaya nakita nyo yan, definitely it will be a slowdown, affect their time. And I do wonder if SSR Carters can still recover from that mistake. But you know what? It's all good news to Veritas Arcus because they moved up
can go
rank.
for the chase down.
Yes.
But looking at it, guys, we can see the pressure that will be on the hands of the Carters and even the OGs because of what happened to the Carters. The sister company, let's look at this replay on what happened earlier, guys.
So it was a clean exit supposedly, but then
Let's look.
It was an overshoot probably on that left on the right-hand turn, and that may have caused the spin out. Again, when you are entering a turn and you have really high speeds, a little bit of that bumper or a change in the surface can cause a bit of a turn challenge for the Lotus. Once one of your wheels or your rear wheels leave the track, then that's it. Your control flies out of the window.
Oof, okay. Oh man.
All of a sudden,
Incidents happening
a
last few minutes na lang ng racing after a good solid run.
Yep.
Sa huli ka pa magkakamali. So I'm pretty sure it will get frustrating at some point.
Maybe the Tardic is working on these cars, so I guess it's maybe just a factor they need to consider whenever they go for the pit, to at least check on their tires on the tire degradation that they currently have. So at this point, NXT Racing already leading by 2 lapses against Upfront. Wow, what a lead for NXT right there in that. But Veloce Regasso trying to go for the chase, and that is going to be just 4 seconds of a deficit against the upfront racing. They might go for the catch up on that P2.
Yes, they did pit, and that gave Upfront Racing a chance to grab P2 away from them. So right now, Veloce Regasso playing catch up with a new driver taking over, and they're trying to make sure that they're cementing their place in P2. They used to have this in the bag, but after that last pit and driver swap, we okay. Hi Keanu and Sir JC. Ayan. Everyone here having a good time. Again, it's just a fun event to gather the community, the best, the brightest, and also those who are here with us in Metro Manila. So I wish we had a chance to have the Davao drivers, the Cebu drivers, the international drivers join in. Maybe they can plan their flights for round 2 and round 3.
Wait, pero do you guys agree with me? Up front, they have been quiet. They have not been super aggressive, but they haven't been passive as well.
Yeah.
Slowly, they moved up ranks here, and now they're holding on to P2.
Yep.
We didn't even see that one coming.
They're like just sleeping giant, because I remember last year they did perform really well. But now, look at them maintaining that P2 spot. But how long can they hold it on? Because Veloce Regasso is at their tail, ready to bite and ready to follow and even dethrone them from that P2 position.
We talk about sleeping giants, but in actual real life, they're actually sleeping little giants. If you talk about Upfront Racing, they're not the oldest drivers, and that's an understatement. They're really younger junior drivers, but they are showing us how well prepared they are to step up to the challenge, battling out against other more seasoned veterans.
They're pitting. NXT, they're pitting. I don't know.
Whoa!
This is going to be a gamble for NXT.
I mean, but they're leading like with 2 laps. So
Well,
if
it
they
depends.
can perform, no?
If they will manage to finish that steering wheel, the fatigue will be a factor for the challenge. So
Then
now, it's less than a lap. Just 1 lap.
Oh.
NXT Racing, this is gonna be a cliche moment if ever, because this might be an upset by Upfront if NXT Racing will take time on this bit.
Again, it's a game of numbers as well. If you're looking at the rules, the goal is for no driver to go past 45 minutes. But if you're also finishing all the challenges really, really fast, then
No problem.
Then
Yes,
you have 4
easy.
drivers finishing at 40 minutes. Then one of the drivers will definitely have to sacrifice and swap back.
I mean, like whatever we say, the formula that NXT Racing is doing at the moment is so effective that it's keeping them, at
Top
the
spot.
lead,
Yep.
even though they're the last one to go for that pit stop. And NXT Racing managing to complete, the challenge is still holding on to that P1 position. And Upfront Racing is just probably, like maybe praying, okay, come on, do a reset or do not complete the challenges here so that we will have a chance to get that
Give us
P1.
1 minute, guys.
Right? Because we can see NXT Racing is still at the pit stop.
Yep, they're taking their time. They're not rushing at this point because they know they've established the lead that they needed to maintain this one. But looking at Upfront, they're going for the chase. There's still high hopes of a possible upset for this P1 position. Let's look at the quick challenge onto the team of NXT.
And right now, Veloce Regasso is also following closely behind, challenging who gets to be the challenger. But here, Viridis Arcus is actually so close to SROG, trying to make sure that they climb up to the top half of our grid right now. They have successfully gapped SSR Carters after that spin out, but now it's their chance to take away P5 from SSR OG, pushing both SSR teams down. So Viridis Arcus really showing up and showing us how it's done, and really making sure that they're always part of the skirmishes, no? Nagsiskirmish nga sila bago mag-pit eh. Parang Viridis Arcus really talagang animo spirit right now for our endurance race.
Oh man, it is getting intense.
We're hearing some screams out there. And up front, less than looks like 100 seconds.
Whoa.
The energy, I love the energy, guys.
Yeah, especially we're down to our final 7 minutes here, ladies and
Yeah.
gents. So we do understand, the pressure are already setting in. For most of the teams here, we can definitely hear someone shouting and cheering for her teammate to go and push through, power through the last challenge here. NXT Racing still at the top. They no longer have that one lap lead, so
slowly
up
going
front,
low.
Racing is closing it in. Can they take P1 from NXT?
I don't know about that, but looks like the time is going to slowly getting through NXT at this point, and Veloce Regazzo also trying to catch up to Upfront Racing at this point. So we never know who's gonna take P1, P2, and P3 at this point. It's taking some time for NXT to finish their challenge. Now we are down to 60 seconds of a deficit for Upfront. Let's see how they will manage to at least catch up to NXT.
Gone by yung 60 seconds nila dito sa pit na to. We actually have Megumila cheering on her team. Again, the NXT Racing gap everyone. But then only to have 5 more minutes of the threat breathing down their necks. But here we have Veloce Regazzo as well, trying to say, hey, we were here too, And it happened for SSR Carters. One spin out and the 4-second gap is gonna be obliterated right now. So NXT Racing, I think they're finishing strong. I think
They're catching up.
that Corbin
Less than 50.
on that seat right there. Oh wow, what a luxury it is to finish with Corbin on the wheel. Upfront Racing right now, still trying to catch up at 65 seconds, 59 seconds. The gap is slowly being cut down, but we only have 5 minutes. And if you're looking at the laps of our teams, that's roughly 2 laps. So is that enough time for things to change? Viridi's Arcos right now chasing down SSR OG, 0.26 differential. Is this gonna be an SSR OG
they overtake.
type of grid on the lower part of our leaderboards or not?
Let's see. Upfront Racing again. They're the team that has the biggest potential of taking down NXT Racing, from the P1 position. We're looking at Veloce Regazzo also still at P3. They're catching up, with Upfront Racing. There's that possibility that they could maybe overtake, but it all depends. But timing is always the key here, ladies and gents. We've got 2 cars tailing each other here. But let's see if kaya pang i-push ng Viridi's Arcos to take that P5 na hinahawakan ng SSR OG.
Yeah, that's going to be the question to be answered. Looks like they're neck and neck. That's gonna be a dogfight we're looking for at this race, ladies and gents. Viridi Arcos and SSR OG taking turns, getting that lead and overtaking each other. But still, they are proving themselves who's worthy among us. But still, this is going to be Viridi Arcos. Looks like he's prevailing at this point. Will this be a momentum for them? I'm not sure about that. But still, they are leading the pack. At this point, the overtake has been secured by the Viridi Arcos. What I'm curious right now is, can they maintain this position as P5?
And don't look now, even our P2 and P3 are also closely tied together. So we do have last minute dogfights at the 3-minute mark of our race right now. This is really exciting for everyone watching here. A minute of a gap, P2 and P3, and also half a minute of a gap between SSR OG and Viridi's Arcos. Now, Veloce Regazzo is here to premiere, really trying to make sure that the P3 is well protected with their lead more than a lap from the Speedy Bakers. But again, 2 minutes, one more lap, one more time, they will be attacking Upfront Racing, trying to grab that P2 away from them.
All right, ladies and gents, this is now the time for the other drivers to put the pressure on, because we're down to our final 2 minutes here. If they need to to go full aggro here, just like what Veloce Ragazzo is doing at the moment, is really being aggressive at defending their P3 position here. But for Viridis Arcus, what a great performance,
Yes,
because they still was able to get that P5.
Yes, indeed. The catch up on the SSR OG was really a very exciting moment back there. And now we're down to last 2 minutes for this race of endurance. So we can see also the Verde Arcos still maintaining that P5 as SSR OG trying to go for the chase. But still, they were not able, maintaining that less than a second lead for Verde Arcos. And on to the P1, NXT Racing leading the charge and maintaining their lead as nobody was able to catch up. The P2 is at 75 seconds of a deficit. It's really too far to catch up right now. Only less than 1 minute and a half remaining for this race.
Now SROG trying to make a final push right here at the straightaway, catching up to Viridis Arcos, trying to take back what was theirs earlier on, but SROG still within fighting distance. And this is a left-hand turn, but they're unable to capitalize on that inner lane. We have another turn coming up, and again, Silverstone is not one track to mess up on, because we have succeeding chicanes that are speed traps to our elites. So again, waiting for that window of opportunity as we are less than a minute away from our timer. Again, this is an endurance race, so the clock will stop when NXT Racing process, and they will determine the number of total laps for our full race. And then after that, all the other teams will have to catch up, clock in the same number of laps. That's when we will say that the race has finished.
All right, here we go, ladies and gents. We're down to our final 24 seconds on the clock here, and we will be able to know just who will be finishing at the top here. Still, NXT Racing performing solid for the race today, holding on to that P1. We got Affront Racing at P2, down to 7 seconds, and we still got Veloce Ragazzo at P3. We are now about to conclude this race, and let's see who's going to be winning our round 1 endurance here at the National Esports Championship 2026, presented to you by AAP and powered by Dominato E-Motorsports.
Yes, indeed. But we're still undecided on that P2 and P3, because the team of Veloce Ragazzo is still on within the biting distance against Upfront Racing. Let's see if they would be able to conclude or even overtake Upfront Racing. But also SSR OG within striking distance against Veloce, or rather Viridis Arcos at P5 and P6. Let's see. Oh, the overtake, but it was reclaimed by Viridis Arcos at this point. We don't know yet who will claim that P5 and P6 position, but let's look at the other positions. At P4 by the Speedy Bakers, trailing by 1 lap against the Veloce Ragazzo at P3.
And now that as they are approaching the finish line, SROG still trailing behind Viridis Arcos, losing that position that they have. But again, we would like to give our serious congratulations to the podium finishers. We have at P1 NXT Racing just about to cross the line. That is it. NXT Racing done, cemented their P1 finish. Congratulations, NXT Racing. And the race is over. All the other drivers are now headed to finish and get back to the pit. Again, NXT Racing asserting their dominance over the rest of the pack.
Yeah.
Megumila right there.
Yes, look at that.
Still has a lot of things to say to her team. There you go.
Oh, there you go. Okay, all right. Okay, yeah.
Hey, wait, what?
But you know what? I can honestly say that was a phenomenal performance, from NXT Racing.
Yep.
They started strong and they finished strong. So in terms of consistency, they have that one in the bag, for round number 1. And we also have, of course, to consider also giving a huge shout out to Affront Racing for landing a P2 here. So let's see. Wait.
No, yes. It's overtime. So
Oh, a little bit of
Yeah, we'll have to
overtime.
wait for the final announcement.
Oh, okay,
But
okay,
again,
okay.
Congratulations to everyone who participated. We are seeing a lot of people clapping, the shouts, the cheers, as we have more teams crossing the line. And that is it, you guys. Thank you again to everyone who made this possible, to our sponsors, again, for AAP, bridging the gap and building a community of E-Motorsports enthusiasts. Thank you for being part of this. And that was the Speedy Bakers, that was the Turon squad crossing the line. A lot of emotions. Donuts right there. We are seeing donuts.
I love the energy, guys. I love the energy and the
Baka
hype.
sapat yung cheesecake, may donuts pa dapat.
Is that a sugar rush, guys?
Wait lang. I mean, these are the guys from Speedy Bakers currently at P4 here.
Yep.
Robin Tan, no?
Yep.
Medyo nangingibabaw yung boses niya kanina.
Even with the struggle on the 1 minute steering wheel challenge, he still has the energy.
Aba, syempre naman, imagine, di-reset mo na you did the challenge twice. So, alam mo lang kung saan nanggagaling yung hugot niya sa pagsigaw niya. And yes, we finally made it. We finally, finished one of the best positions.
Yes, he deserves to celebrate that
Yes.
one. And the energy from Robin Tanner really is one of the something that we need to see at the other races here at the endurance, because I think this might be the end.
We just have to really give a huge props, to all of the teams that joined us for the first round of endurance here at the National Esports Championship. We're so very proud of you guys. I know it wasn't easy. So even though you didn't get P1, P2, or P3, just the fact that you guys are here with us competing against other teams here, other drivers, you guys are the best.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely it's no small feat to really compete at this level, to gather the resources, gather the network to build a team, and also gather experience to really shine at this stage with the 2026 AAP National Esports Championship. Again, this is the official esports league for our sim racers, presented to you by AAP and powered by Dominado E-Motorsports.
We were talking about some penalties a while ago, right?
Yep.
So now that we have, now that we're done, with the 3-hour endurance
Race
race,
included.
this is again like just a window, for the teams to file their complaints just in case they're
Protests.
part of, protest rather, because we've had like incidents inside the track, right?
Yeah.
Incidents inside the track. There were cars that actually spun out. So this is their window to just file a protest and take all of the points,
And by the way, before we go to break, I would like to remind you guys once again, especially those who have been with us, again, if you want to share your experience with today's activities and festivities, please do share your reel, your post, or your story with the hashtag AAP Esports or hashtag NEC 2026. We still have prizes up for grabs if you share your experience here with us on social media. And having said that, we're going to be back after a short break.
guys, welcome back to our 2026 AAP National Esports Championship Endurance Edition. I'm Topher Tejada. Right here with me is Boss Xiao, Red Queen Andy, and Coach Abby is right there sa likod taking their rest na for the 3 hours. Brother, we'll have a quick recap for this 3 hours endurance. Andun kasi ako sa likod kanina, no? Doon ako eh. So ano bang, sa tingin mo, ano mga nangyari muna?
Yeah. So for the recap lang on the endurance, 3-hour endurance race earlier, no? So we saw a quick start from SSROG leading on the first or early stages of the race, being followed by NXT Racing and Verde Arcos. On the fourth is SSR Carters and followed by the Escuderia GR Esports. Pero sadly, it was changed during the second hour of the race in which NXT already establishing their lead at that moment na hindi na talaga siya nahabol. Pero on to the second spot, we can still remember the performance of Verde Arcos also. Pero yon, at the end of the race, there can only be one that will stand out. So here is your partial and unofficial results.
Taking P1 for provisional results is NXT Racing, and P2 will be Upfront Racing, and P3 with Velocera Gaso as Sim 2 Premier PH. Rounding up in the P4 is PD Baker, and P5 will be Viridis Arcos. P6.
For P6, we have Swift Sim Racing, followed by P7 as Swift Sim Racing Carters, and P8 is Escuderia Esports Team, and last will be P9 for MSAE Racing Team. Congratulations to everyone, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the AAP National Esports Championship 2026 Endurance Race.
Please do take note that these are partial and unofficial results, and may mga naghahabol pa po ng mga protest nila, and so our stewards will review it and ilalabas yung official results within next week. We have congratulations sa mga NXT natin. Ang galing no pacing nila, no, na-maintain nila yung composure and yung race pace nila.
Yes, indeed. And sobrang ganda rin talaga nung naging laban natin. And we also would like to thank our sponsors for today, especially for the AAP, for this National Esports Championship powered by the Dominado E-Motorsport. Also, Korsa Pitstop Cafe for this wonderful crowd, and also the community of Sim1 e-racing, di ba? Talagang napakaganda. So far, also Canon, sobrang ganda ng camera natin, guys. Kahit ngayong Porsche natin, kitang-kita, di ba? So, super linaw. Yes, sir. And also, guys, Saramonic, Game On. Game 1. Also, Nerd Herd. We also have TT Racing for our napaka-comfy na gaming chair.
Direct Colleagues, of course.
Napakagwapo, number 1.
Napaka-pogi, number 1 namin yan.
And guys, so we would
Big
like to
DC.
thank everyone for this wonderful event. So kita-kits ulit tayo.
Bezel monitors,
Road microphone, wag natin kakalimutan. Sobrang linaw, guys. Sobrang clear, even with that very, very loud noise on the background. Talagang boses lang natin yung naririnig, partner.
Tsaka syempre, last but not the least, i-thank natin yung mga drivers natin for participating this round 1 endurance series. So with that, we are now going
guys,
to go out.
And it's time to end this battle, ladies and gents. Kami nga pala ang inyong naging casters for today. Boss Xiao, Topher Tejada, Coach Andy, and also Coach Abby and
Red Queen
Andy. Maraming salamat, and kita-kits ulit tayo sa mga susunod pang mga circuit and races, guys. Good night, and ingat kayo sa pag-uwi. GG's!
Today, there's a lot of attendees. Some are new.